Greetings, Evans. So today we are here on this beautiful Sunday, and I think today I'll speak on being yourself, which I already mentioned here. But I would just like to check if my voice is clear, if you are able to hear. Can you just let me know? So last time there was a voice issue, but I don't know if this time it's clear. Can you please let me know? You able to hear? Okay, thank you. Thanks much. So warm welcome to all of you from the bottom of my heart. I'm just trying to share this. Okay, just give me a moment. Oops, I double shared, I think. Just give me a moment. I mess up all the time with this. Pranam bhai, Ishan Shilpi, Shantanu ji welcome, Vani ji welcome, Anil ji welcome. Yeah, I was just having this issue posting this, but now I think I'm done. Okay, today I thought I'll just talk to you about being yourself, because this is one thing which most of us have this challenge about. On the path, we are always challenged by this. Okay, I'm almost done. Yes, so finally I'm done. So greetings from the bottom of my heart. Rahul ji and Simi ji also welcome. So being yourself is one of my favorite topic, because that is the most challenging thing that I always had in my life, and it took me a lot of time to realize that and to even overcome it to a large extent. So being yourself, is very important, very, very important, whether you are on the path or not on the path, because this is one aspect that aligns us with our true selves. Isha ji welcome. Satyam ji welcome. 1 second. Yeah. So what exactly is being yourself? Shanti ji welcome. Being means being the true you. There are two aspects of this being yourself. Normally in the world, people talk a lot about be yourself, be yourself. Shali ji welcome. I hope you're liking the short videos that I post regularly now and often, because when I'm sitting sometimes and something comes to my mind, or some email comes or some messages come, then I feel that this is needed, because somewhere in my life I have needed that, and most of the time I have not had guidance, because back in those years, 20-25 years, there was no Google, there was no people online, and there were no platforms like this. So it was depending more on ourselves and working on ourselves in those days. I remember it was very challenging. So now it's so easy. I mean, we get to share each other's views, our perspective, our experiences, and it helps. And these days it helps more, because we come to know that we are not alone. Those days I used to feel very lonely. because I used to feel this is only happening to me, or this is only my problem. So the world is all good, well to do, and seekers do not know what's happening with each other. So there were a lot of confusions, doubts, but now I feel the platform is so large globally, and so many people of light, the seekers, aspirants are all sharing their life journeys and trying to help each other by sharing their own experiences or looking at others, and wherever they can fill in those lights, they are doing that. So in that manner, what's happening is now it's become more easier to relate. And we know one thing, that we are not alone on this path. We know that there are many multitude of us who's going through similar things. So when something lights up in somebody else's life, it helps us in some or the other way. So that is my purpose of bringing these short videos of small insights in between whenever I can. I hope that helps you. So coming back to today's topic on being yourself. I never choose topics, but today I was prompted, because all this while I was seeing that this life and this journey is become more beautiful when I am myself. Previously it was a lot of struggle. I remember so much of struggle and conflicts happening, so much of restlessness and so much of no peace, so much of no settling down, something like always on the move from within. You're seeking or you're wanting something more. It's like the greed is never ending, something of that sort. So once I started settling down, I realized that it is because I'm being myself. Or in the other ways, whenever I see myself settle down, the other side of me aspect I see is that I'm settling down because I'm being myself. Both ways. It was very difficult to be myself. And largely because of the work I've been doing on myself on this journey. And that is the time the awareness shows these blanks, these gaps. And that is how I am able to ascertain as to what was that missing void, what was that missing gap due to which this thing was happening. And today when I can relate it very clearly, and I can understand it more clearly through my personal experience, I think I am in a position to share this with all of you who might need this kind of an input or insight. So as I told, being yourself means there are two aspects of it. The world largely speaks. You go in any industry, you go in any field, there is that notion that you got to be yourself. Be who you are. But I believe that is little confusing. It can be conflicting, because what the world largely functions is not necessarily from their spiritual side, because not everybody is awakened, nor everybody is spiritually aligned. Many of them are in their worldly pursuits and living a worldly materialistic life in the gross world. Gross world would mean the egoic tendencies. The egoic tendencies are very strong when you are in the gross world, and especially if you do not have a spiritual foundation, then it can overturn. It can go beyond the egoistic tendencies. So I am talking from that point of view. One is the egoic mind or the egoic self saying be yourself, or the egoic self saying I am what I am. I am not talking about that aspect, because as spiritual beings we should be able to identify when we speak from that zone of the egoic self. It's very important, because what I am trying to tell you is something that is very deep foundational, that is from the spiritual practices. Being what you are from the spiritual point of view, not from the egoic point of view. So you got to be careful, when I was thinking, when I talk this also, I got to be careful, because if I say, be who you are, I am what I am, मैं जो हूँ वो हूँ, this is who I am. These kind of presentations are there in the world. But you can see the language itself, the sign, the body language also you saw. I am who I am. This is who I am. मैं जो हूँ वो हूँ. This is the way I am. This is coming from an egoic point of view. And this doesn't have any botherations about self or others. It's just trying to satisfy or please that the me. And if you closely see this statement saying that I am who I am, I am this way, like me or leave me. I've seen all these statements, something like, which I used to also use often, like, hate me, like me, love me, don't love me, but you can't ignore me. So it's like, do whatever you can, but you can't ignore me. That it's good, but see the two aspects of it. The world speaks from that, you can't ignore me. I am this, you got to accept me. This is the real me. You got to deal with me. It's coming from that point, the egoic one. We are not talking about that. Whereas this statement can also have the other end, the spiritual side of it. Like when you're saying, like me or hate me, love me or hate me, but you can't ignore me. If you talk from a spiritual point of view, yes, it's very true. That is what I am trying to say, being yourself, being who you are, the real you, the authentic you, the pure awareness that you are. So when you come from that point of view, when you radiate, when you beam love, when you beam light, when you beam well-being, when you beam goodwill all the time, people cannot ignore you. It's very true. So whether they like you or they hate you, doesn't matter. They cannot ignore you, because they cannot ignore your energies. They cannot ignore what you radiate. Are you getting it? So see, so beautiful the spiritual aspect side of it, and the other aspect of it, the egoic side. Love me, hate me, do whatever you want. You can't ignore me. I am going to poke into your screen, and I am going to poke into your life. I am going to be there. It's like a horror presence. It's like a ghostly presence. Ghost also, you see, how the ghost is. Whether you like the ghost or you don't like the ghost, you can't ignore it. See, it's a ghostly tendency. So that's one aspect. And I'm not talking about that, being yourself. I'm talking this being that you are. That yourself, the being. The human being, the spiritual being, that being yourself. Hey Maggie, welcome. Lots of love to you. Rajesh ji, welcome. This is actually a challenge, because until we realize this, it's very difficult to settle down. It's very, very difficult. I'll just brief you about the catches of it. If you don't sit in awareness, if you don't look at this aspect of yourself in awareness, what all can happen? It happened to me. How it can jumble up your life, how it can conflict your life in so many ways, and you will not even know about it. You will not even have a hint about what's happening in your life. Most of our confusion in the spiritual path is we do not know what's happening to us. Most of the things, there are so much of inner conflicts and inner turmoils going on. We are not aware of, maybe we are aware of the turmoil, but we do not know from where the root is, from where it is coming, so that you can tackle it. To tackle it, to handle it, you got to know the root cause of it. And you cannot reach in there, you cannot go and dig into that zone, that spot, until you become aware of yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Until you meditate upon yourself and meditate in complete awareness of what you are, very honestly, very truly, until you work on that aspect of you, it's very, very difficult to settle down and understand what's happening to you. And we live with these conflicts, not understanding or believing that something is wrong with me, something is wrong with my life, something is not going right. I can't set my life right. I can't set or find or fix what's going wrong in me. That is the reason I always stress so much about the path of awareness, because the path of awareness, if you have this practice and if you constantly work on this aspect, a lot of things will reveal unto you, including this topic of being yourself. Being yourself actually allows you to take care of yourself. That's very important. Taking care of yourself. You cannot take care of yourself if you are not being the real you. What does it mean, not being you? How do we go about living by not being ourselves? Let's understand this. When you are not true to yourself, when you are not true to the core of your own deep beliefs, when you are not true to your own core set of knowing of who you are and what your purpose is, when you are not true to that, when you cannot relate with that, when you cannot identify with that, when you cannot express that, and when you cannot live that, the true you, that is not being yourself. So if we are not being ourselves, then who are we? Otherwise, if you are not being yourself, you are what you are not. And we live our lives what we are not. Look very closely, very, very closely, you look at what I am saying. Even now, even after being spiritual, if you observe very carefully, you will see that we are not living ourselves truly of who we are. There is so much of camouflage happening. There is so much of adaptations happening. There is so much of pleasing others happening. There is so much of no self-awareness, no self-worthiness, no self-acceptance. When we do not accept ourselves the way we are, we become something else. Are you getting it? Because we cannot accept that part of us, then we try to become something else. And when you try to become something else, you are not you. You are somebody else. That is not being you. What we are trying to say is, be yourself. Whereas what I am telling you right now is what we are not ourselves, what we do not believe we are. Most of this is very catchy because it is very subconscious. It's not very conscious. The mind cannot catch it very consciously. All these things that I'm talking to you is very much on. Some advertisements coming here. I'm deleting this comment, day one. Please do not post any ads here or you will be blocked. So the acceptance, when you are not able to accept yourself completely, means you are not being authentic. What is authentic? In true integral self, being very honest. Now, I don't believe that being honest is very difficult. We say it's very difficult. I do not know who I am. I do not know what's my real self. That is because you are not aware. You sink into awareness, you practice awareness, and you start living in awareness. You will come to know who you are, and you will easily come to know who you are not. Last Sunday, we spoke about how to find who you are not. When you find who you are not, automatically you will know who you should be and who you are not being. Most of the time, you see, look at the life. Just observe the life from morning to evening. If you observe your life, most of the time goes in trying to please others, trying to please the world, to pacify the world, to adapt to the world, to change yourself to the world, to become a part of this world, because you know if you don't do that, somewhere deep inside you it says, if you don't do that, you cannot be a part of this world, you cannot be a part of a community, you cannot be the part of a country, you cannot be a part of the culture, you cannot be a part of the family. There are many aspects, though there are no direct implications that is given that you got to be this. It is all very subconscious, very, very subconscious. All the acts, like for example, you live in a family, you live in a society, you live in a country, you live in a community, you will see that there are norms, various norms. And some are rigid, some are self-motivated, some are for selfish needs, ulterior motives, or some are made generally for good but made in very unconscious states. So we really do not know it, which is generally helping. Like the rules of the society, the rules of the country. There are so many rules that really don't work. There are so many laws that says if you got to be here, if you want to live here, you got to be this. You must have seen every country has got their own rules. So if you want to be a citizen, you got to abide by these rules. And it changes from country to country. See, that is where the catch is. If it was true for a human being, it should have been universal. Same laws. But it changes from country to country, from culture to culture, from tradition to tradition. Are you getting it? That means that it is the adaptation of a particular society, of a particular culture, of a particular tradition, of a particular country or a particular community. It is an adaptation of what that entity feels is good. So it is generalized and made a law. So let's say you are in one country and you are very comfortable being yourself with the laws, you have adapted your whole life in that particular place. Now you got to move into another place, another geographic location, and suddenly the rules change for you. Now how would you feel? Suddenly there are new implications. What would you do? You have no other alternative but to adjust and adapt to that situation. Otherwise you will not be accepted by that society. So what you do is you start becoming who you are not, because most of the implications might not relate with who you are. It might be with who somebody else is or who that collective is. So you make an adaptation. Why? To fit in. This is the catch. We are not ourselves because we try to fit in. Fit in into something, to be accepted, to be loved there. Because as a human being, it is our earnest desire from deep within to be accepted, to be loved wholly. And I'm not just talking about country. This happens everywhere. Even it begins from the family first. Family has a certain set of rules, certain set of conditions apply. If you got to be a part of this family, you got to be this way. Now, you are not told the rules, but you live, you are born and brought up in that kind of a situation where these rules play for itself. And slowly you adapt and you learn, oh, this is how I got to behave, this is how I got to be here. And if I don't, I get punished, or I don't get accepted, or I am not loved. It begins there. A child starts feeling it. A child might not know it in the start. A child might think it's a normal thing. When the parents are spanking itself and saying, no, if you don't behave yourself. you are not going to be getting the love from us or the attention from us. If you don't study these subjects, you are not going to get that gift from us. And if you study this, or if you choose this path or this career, or if you try and focus on becoming so and so in your future, so now if this goal is set in your mind, if you are becoming a doctor, if you are becoming a lawyer, then we have full support for you. We give you our full support. Now this is not told in words, this is told in actions. How? If a child is not going, let's say it's a family of advocates, lawyers, and we want the child to get into the same field. So from start only, everything about law and everything about this field is being told to the child because that's my field. Or let's say I am a dancer myself, a professional dancer, and now I want my child to get into that line. So from childhood, I start sending the child for dance classes. Now what does a child need? Nobody asks. Who cares? Child is my property. I have begetted it. I have given birth to it. So I have all the right to decide what my child is going to do. And I decide what the child is going to become. It's my ultimate right. And so, how does it matter what the child wants? Child might hate dancing. Child might be loving singing or music. No. You are going to be dancing, so you are going to be going for your classes, you are going to be doing this, and so on and so forth. So there are no rules implied. There are nobody telling you, you got to be this, otherwise no. Nobody says that. It comes very subconsciously. It's like you are going for the class. If you don't go for the class, then I am upset with you. I don't talk to you well as I used to talk to you. So suddenly the child gets to feel that what happened to mama or papa? Not talking well. Now they are not happy because the child is not choosing what they have chosen for the child. And in that process what happens is they become angered. Oh, I can see suddenly people went off. They must be parents. I'm sorry to press some buttons, but I have to. I will do it. It's very important. So, this is the problem actually. We want to expand. We love expanding, but we don't want to look into those areas which are contracted us, which do not allow expansion. These are those areas. They are triggers. They are not comfortable. When I talk about culture, countries, and these kind of family, especially family, because here in the spiritual field, we are put in a belief that family means everything and no comments on it. Parents means everything, no comments on it. Children means everything, no comments on it. We must accept everything as godly, because spiritual means accepting everything without any kind of inhibition, without any kind of even pondering, without even contemplation or having some awareness of, is that even right? No, you are not supposed to do that. It's a wrong notion actually. Accepting somebody the way they are is completely different, which I can again elaborate on. What I am trying to say is, when I don't accept myself the way I am, then is the time that I impose things on others. See, for example, I don't accept myself. Something is wrong with me. Something is not fulfilled in me. Something is incomplete in me. That is when I try to find completion in others. For example, if I am a dancer and I am trying to put a good profession and I am struggling in my career or whatever, and it's not happening, and I have been unsuccessful in my life as a dancer, what will be my next aim? My next aim will be, let me make my child a dancer, because it is my unfulfilled desire which I now want to live through that child. Are you getting that? A part of me which I cannot accept. I cannot accept myself. No, this is not me. What what is it that I wanted? I wanted to become this dancer. So I cannot accept that I am not that dancer. So what I do? Subconsciously, I start treating or imposing these things onto the children. Why the children? Because they are easily susceptible and they are dependent on us. So it's like living my life through them. Now when you do that, whatever reasons it might be, what I am trying to tell you here is, the soul has come with a certain agenda. The soul, the child has a certain agenda. It has come here with that purpose. And without a proper parenting, without a conscious parent, without a parent who is aware of these things, why the soul is come, and what we need to nurture in that particular child, until we become aware, what we will do? We will do all this unconscious act, and we will try selfishly living through them. I'm sorry to use that word, selfishly living through the children. Now, we might call this accepting everybody the way, no, you should not. No, go deeper and see. You accept the child the way it is. What is the child? What does the child want to do? That is acceptance. Okay, you want to become this, you have come with this agenda, fine. You live your life. I accept you the way you are. This is acceptance. Not the other way around, where the ego is trying to now justify my flaws as accepting. No. Look into it. This I am not speaking. The awareness will tell you this. We are talking about integrity. We are talking about truthfulness. So what we do now, this session is not about parents and child at all, but I am telling you it begins from the childhood. Your conditioning, if you feel you are not able to be yourself, it has begun from your childhood, my dear. The roots are in the childhood. That is what I am trying to tell you here. I had spoken deeply about this when I was doing the inner child healing. A session for 3-4 days continuously. I had taken 3 to 4 hours every day, long back. I remember doing this. Because a part of me cannot accept myself the way I am, because it's my childhood trauma. My parents must have passed this to me. I might have been imposed a life where I don't have a choice. And when I've lived and grown and made this a strong foundation in myself, I believe this is right. This is the way to live. Without awareness, yes, this is the way to live, I feel. Now, I feel it's my divine right to impose the same to my children, because I have lived this way. I have justified my whole life in this manner. So it's so easy to impose this on children. And they are the victims. And who are these victims? These are those children who tomorrow will grow up and who cannot accept themselves, who cannot be themselves, incomplete being in this world, who like you and me might strive to find the meaning of that existence, that unfulfilled self, that authentic self, the true one which is hidden within. The child knows what he wants, but over a period of time, the childhood is gone, the teenage is gone, adulthood comes in, and that whole thing is erased and now replaced by others' ideas and desires. And I become a being living for others, living somebody else's dreams, fulfilling others' dreams. Unconscious living, I'm telling you, nobody even consciously looks at this, but they're living and they feel everything is fine, we are marching ahead in life, competitive life, we are living a great life and all that, until that it starts bothering, because the soul is soul. The soul agenda cannot be forgotten. The soul has come with a soul agenda. That soul agenda has to be fulfilled. How much ever you layer that with how much ever thick other impressions, the soul beneath will still strive to live that soul agenda. Today or tomorrow, that will start becoming prominent. That is the time you will see that suddenly there is a feeling of incompleteness. Suddenly there is a sense of non-accomplishment, even after accomplishing everything. Because the child doesn't know what the accomplishments are. It is somebody else's accomplishment that it has accomplished. It's not its own accomplishment. And the soul is striving to accomplish and live its own experiences, which it is not in its favor. And unfortunately, this topic what I am talking, the child even doesn't know about it, isn't even aware. Neither the parent nor the child. It takes grace, I'm telling you, it takes grace to even come and to know about all these things. I'm telling you from my life perspectives only. Being yourself. The child doesn't know being yourself, because if you ask a child, are you yourself? Yes. Yes. Are you being yourself? Yes. And if you ask, what is that yourself? What is that you? Blah 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 blah, it will blurt out somebody else's ideas. It will not speak itself because it has forgotten itself. That soul agenda, it has forgotten. It has gone deep down. You know, the masters, when they teach about soul agenda. Find your soul purpose. Don't they say? There are so many ways of finding your soul purpose. And one way is when you try digging and finding what is your soul purpose, you end up in this kind of crap. You see suddenly that, oh my God, I found my soul purpose, but I cannot live it now. Why cannot live it? Because I am conditioned so much, so badly by the external conditions of this world that I live in. And when I look back, why am I not able to live myself? I see that. Oh my God. I'm not able to live because now I don't feel myself. This is an entity. Some other entity is living in me. Where is that me gone? It all sinks down to that inner child, that deep inner child, that wounded inner child. I hope the music is not loud. And this is very important. Healing the inner child is very important. It is very, very important, I'm telling you, because if you don't work on this and find out who you really are, because being yourself means what? Being you. Who are you? We don't know that. Who are you? I am Jacob Thomas, or I am Jake Lai, or I am Jacob Shivan. Identities. Name is always an identity. See, I took 3 names. 3 names have its own identities. I am fully aware of these identities while I work with it, because I know the catch. The purpose of these 3 identities are different. But when I integrate all these 3 identities, I know it is my sole purpose. I am aligned very well, fully aware, conscious, Jagrat about my sole purpose and how I am serving this sole purpose through these 3 different personalities. And what I am trying to say is, the other aspect of us, which has so many names and forms and personalities and identities, and we are identified with those names and personalities, but we do not know. We are not aware of how are we living. Just right now contemplate and see. You have a personality. You are so-and-so, XYZ. Who are you? I am so-and-so. The name gives you a personality. Imagine your identity. Okay, this is my identity. What do you do? Immediately your professional identity. This is what I am. See your professional identity. I am this. Okay? Just 2 personality we are taking here. One is your personal identity with your name, family name and all that. You have an identity. I am so-and-so, belong to so-and-so family, so-and-so lineage, so-and-so parents, so-and-so great household or low household, whatever. And then one is your career. I am so-and-so, I work, or I have a business, or I am an entrepreneur, or I am a self-established person, whatever. There's an identity. So there are 2 personalities that you are living right now, just for examples. Now look at that deeply. You said you are you. The name, just think, I am my name. What comes with that name? Oh, I belong to this family, this is my status in the society. Doesn't it come? Be very honest. When you think about it, what does it come? Does the soul come? No. Does spirituality? Nothing comes. The first thing that comes is how you are identified with that family name, with what the family is known in the society, how it is known, which household you belong to. See, that characteristics revolves. The moment you think about it right now also, that things revolves. That name, who am I? Just see yourself in the society with that name. You are moving around in the society. How do people treat you? Oh, you belong to that house. You belong to that family. Oh, yeah, I know your father. I know your grandfather. You belong to that. Oh, yeah. Who is so and so? Oh, he's the grandson of so and so, or granddaughter, or daughter of so and so person, or son of so and so person, or the father of so and so person. If your child is well off to do, is the father or the mother. You are known by somebody else. This is what I am trying to tell you. You are not known by who you are. Because why you are not known by the true you who you are? Because nobody knows the true you are. Nobody knows you. Everybody knows you from your false identity. This is the false identity that we carry. The false I. That's not real you. But what happens is subconsciously when we are living in this world, morning to evening, that is what I said, not in awareness, when we are living, we are going about living, I am so and so, which is not the true you. And what is not the true you, you can never be that. And so if I ask you, be yourself, you can never be yourself because you are not that yourself. You are somebody else's ideas. You are something else. Completely something else. As a career, I am so and so professional. I am known in the society by this, whatever, famous or infamous or not famous. Or even a criminal, whatever. If you have a lot of cases against you, people don't like you, or you are a defaulter somewhere. Those are impressions created by the world because they know you by that, how you have acted in the world. People know you how you act. See the word, how you act in the world. Acting is not the true you. See, the word came out. How we act how we behave in the world. How do we behave in the world? By our identities, how we link ourselves, by how we carry ourselves. See, just take for example, you are in the world, out in the world, and if you have to express something, how do you express? You express first with I am so and so, the name. If you have to address a business meeting, how will you address? You will address 100% by how you are known in that profession. If you have to give a speech, you will stand there as a different entity, which is not you. That's not you. That's business, that profession. That's not you. That's something you have gathered. Layers. These are layers. But when we live as though that layer is our true soul, true core, and we express ourselves in that way. So, when we do this repeatedly, again and again, from morning to evening, from childhood to teenage to adulthood, we are repeating this fake process again and again. That becomes our identity, and that we start believing is the real I, the real me. So, if somebody asks, who are you? You will give your identity, this false identity. If somebody asks, what is your purpose? You will tell something which is not your true purpose, but which you have picked from the world. Or you might give the purpose, your sole purpose, as something what your parents gave you the idea about, or what the society imposed on you, that this is how you should live, this is how you should be. Who are you? You are somewhere gone. The real you is somewhere buried in this heaps of layers of false impressions, false I. Are you getting what I am saying? Be yourself. When they say, it's very easy to say. Or when I say, let me be myself. I am myself. How true is that? It's not. It's again coming from that fakeness, because when I say, let me be myself, what is that myself? These wrong identities. And now I believed that this is my true me. So I say, I be myself. And what do I connect with? I connect with these false identities. And then I live that. I express that. And I think that I am what I am. Whereas you are not that. That is why even the most successful people, most established people, most people who have gone a great way, some point of time still feel depleted, some point of time still feel incomplete. Something, because see, the completeness, if you are yourself, you should be complete being. That's it, because you as a soul have come down on this earth to be yourself, to express yourself, to live yourself fully. If you are living yourself fully, then you shouldn't feel incomplete, or something is missing. The urge to seek something should automatically stop. If you look in spirituality, I always see everybody is seeking something. Everybody I see are looking into tons of videos, tons of material, tons of practices, tons of methods and techniques, and you see there is no settlement. Now I don't blame that. Now what I am trying to say is identify, because these are hints that we get that something is not going right. These are the hints that we get. Why are we not settled? Why are we not feeling grounded? Why are we not feeling in ourselves? Because when the completeness comes, the external search starts diminishing. If the external search is increasing, watch this carefully what I say. If the external search is increasing day by day, how do I know it? By look at our activities. I don't want to say what it is. You check out morning to evening. How am I trying to expand myself and find an expansion in the external world by looking into so many modalities, there's so many ways, so many methods. Why? Because there is a sense of incompletion. Where is that sense of incompletion coming from? What I explained right now. Because we are identified with the false I and we are trying to fulfill the false I. And whatever we seek outside, we fix our false I to that and think that we are going to fulfill now. So we move a little and then we come to know this is not working. It's not working because that's not the real you. The real you is craving from here. Whereas we are putting our layers into that. What do you want in life? And what are you seeking? And trying to fulfill that. So with our layer, the false I put that, I try to gain, and it gets satisfied, it gets successful. Like for example, I want to establish a business because I feel that's the real I. If I do a business, I will expand myself and feel happiness and satisfaction. Now the soul is seeking satisfaction, but you are trying to satisfy the false I because of this desire, external desire which is there, which says if you fulfill my desire, I will feel complete, and you believe this false I, and then you catch on a pursuit and fix on your idea to that and say this is who I am, the false I. This is what I am trying to be, and I got something out in the world which can make me be myself, and I fix to that and I create that particular, maybe I might create a big business empire also successfully. But then after the creation also there is still vibration of I want to be myself. And you say I just gave myself everything. I just gave everything to myself. I provided so much of time and attention on myself. I invested so much of money and energy on myself. I've lived my life doing all this. Now what? So no, nothing. Then that is where we find I'm not feeling satisfied. Many people say, I've got everything in life. Found everything. I strived, I did everything, I fulfilled all my desires. There is nothing that I don't have today. But still I feel incomplete. But still I feel I am not being myself. There is a kind of tiredness which is coming. What is that tiredness coming from? That tiredness is coming from that fake I trying to fulfill itself, satisfy everybody's need, because this fake I is, how does this fake I get the attention of the world? Because it tries to get everybody's attention, to please everybody. The false I does that. Why? To fit in the society, to fit in that organization of the business, the tycoons, or whatever the rules are. The competition is. So if you got to be in that, you got to be a certain way, and that false I tries to be a certain way. And finally to understand, no, this is not working. It's not working. Why it's not working? Because the radiation that is happening of I want to be myself is not coming from this false I. It is coming from the soul. The soul is moving through these layers. Are you getting it? So what happens is, when in awareness, when you look at these things very deeply and you identify, oh my God, this false me is not satisfied and can never be satisfied because it's misplaced. It doesn't really know what it wants. But here the soul is radiating, and I have come here, I have taken this birth, this human journey, this earth journey to fulfill that particular. What is that? It is deep satisfaction, deep peace, deep contentment, deep happiness. But only thing, now I am being reflected through these layers, thinking that the happiness, if I fulfill this happiness, if I fulfill this peace, if I fulfill this contentment, and one after the other I'm running. It's not happening. Finally, that is why you see many people who turn spiritual. Great. I've seen so many great people, established people, successful people who have turned spiritual suddenly. They go to the peak of their careers. Well-established tycoons, you read and see. But after a certain point, they have a turning point. And then they finally come to know that after having all those kind of royal cars and bungalows and estates and everything, finally what gives them happiness is that one piece of bread in one corner of one ashram. You've heard of the guys who have come to India's ashrams, right? The great ones, the great business, I don't want to name them, you must be knowing, who found ultimate satisfaction in India in one corner of an ashram by spending some time there, and they found their purpose. They felt contented like anything. They felt their soul agenda being met there. And finally, they turned spiritual. Finally, all that they earned did not go for a toss. Yes, now they knew how to use that in awareness, but they could not invest much time there because the whole thing shifted to their soul, to their true being. That is when you call being yourself. That is when all these great ones also, established ones also, came to know that this is myself. And then they went on the pursuit of being myself. They realized all these years, what I thought was myself is not me. So now I am being myself. So now there is that gratification, that satisfaction that is coming in through. Are you getting that? So now I get rooted. So this is what basically happens to all of us. If you and me are not centered on becoming aware of what I truly want, I means the real I. That is the reason I always say, tune in always to the real I. How do we tune into the real I? Through awareness. Because the moment you become aware, it cannot take you anywhere else but root you, center you in your real I. It can only center you there, in your real I, the real me. That is the advantage. And when you start center, that is what I told you about my life purpose also, my life journey also. Always scattered, not feeling settled. But once I found myself settling in my true awareness, slowly, the completion, the satisfaction which never was found in any other started coming out here. And then I began aligning with what is my true purpose, what is that makes me really happy, that makes me really contented, is the true genuine me now expressing itself the way it is. But for that, I had to first become aware of who I am not. And when I became aware, I saw that this is what I picked from my family, from my society, from the world at large, over all these years, and built up a fortress around me, thinking that this is my empire and this is my kingdom, only to realize the kingdom is within. Once I turned within, I started aligning with the authentic me. Now the authentic me is everybody's. It's very simple. Very simple, very simple and very uncomplicated. The false I is always complicated. The false I is full of conflict, deceit and confusion. Why? Because every moment it has to survive itself on somebody else's ideas. Every moment it has to satisfy somebody else's dreams. Look at this child which is living all its life, growing up, satisfying somebody else's need. And it's not one. And it needs to be continuous. You cannot be inconsistent. Imagine a child whose parent wants it to be a dancer and is sending it forcefully to the dance classes, whereas the child has no interest. The child has maybe in painting, in some other form of art. But that is being denied. That is the sole purpose. That is what that child came to fulfill. Unfulfilled desire from the past lives. It needs completion of this particular desires so that it can complete its journey. But now after being born, it has been deviated somewhere else. So it is spending time now fulfilling something else, not the real purpose. So when the child realizes, this is not my real purpose, and it wants to come back to its own source, you can imagine the challenges that comes. There's so many challenges because suddenly you are going to be a rebellion. You are considered to be a rebellion. You go against those norms which the world believes it has built successfully. You go against it. Why? Because now you are being yourself. What is yourself? I told you, very simple. You are a very simple being. Your needs are very simple and very natural and very pure. If you look at the pure, authentic you, that the soul, the expansion that the soul needs, it needs very simple things. What are the simple things? Can anybody tell me here? What are the simple things that you as a soul need if you put aside the false I? False I, we know. What do you want? We know what we want. Worldly pursuit, everything. But if you put aside that for a moment, at least for this session, and just think, what are the very simple things that comes to our mind that gives us deep satisfaction, deep peace, deep bliss, deep happiness, and deep purpose, a contentment, a purpose of feeling contented. I'll tell you, they are something as good as being simply loved, being simply accepted. Simple things, being accepted, being simply loved. Being the real me is the liberty to express or to talk without worrying who gets offended. Are you able to do that? You never. Check it out. Whenever we talk, whenever we express in this world, we are so careful with our word because we don't know whom we will offend, who will get triggered, or whom might not consider me as a part of themselves and maybe disown me or throw me away. So, in order to please them now, what do? I become a people pleaser. I adapt to what to do to fit in their world. Why? Because there is a simple need in me to be loved, to be accepted. And to be loved and to be accepted. Now if I go with the false I, what will I do? I am scared, I am insecure of somebody dropping me, of somebody not accepting me, somebody not loving me. And in order that they love me, they accept me, then I try to please them. This is what I say, that if you don't take care of yourself well, others will take care of you. If you don't take care of what you want in life, others will take care of what you want in life. Surely. Because subconscious, it becomes a very subconscious. Like for example, if you want to be loved and you cannot express that, I want simply, I just, somebody, you just want to convey things to people that, I just need love, but you can't. How many of us tell people? You cannot tell people, I want to be loved. How many of us? We cannot. express that. So how do we express to be loved? We use subconscious methods unknowingly, because I am unable to express now. What has happened? The subconscious has taken over, and that need, that desire is deep within me. So the subconsciously, what it will try to do is, it will make all kind of dramas around myself to make myself feel loved. I will try to attract a person into my life to make myself feel loved. Or if there is somebody who is loving me, I will make sure, even to the extent of manipulation, to make sure that that person doesn't leave my life, because my need is to be loved. Now what am I doing? See the conflicts that happen with just the simple thing of not being able to be yourself. If you don't express that, if you cannot be yourself, then the subconscious tries to be yourself. The subconscious has taken over and it's trying to fulfill your needs. Subconscious means not yours consciously. You are not even aware of it. Suddenly you will see life playing itself out. Suddenly you will find yourself falling into some dramas. Suddenly you will find yourself, doing something that you don't like to do. And you wonder, why did I do that? Why am I pleading with some people? Why am I emotionally blackmailing somebody? Why am I being so sarcastic to somebody? Why am I taunting people? Why am I telling lies? Why am I giving false promises? Why am I becoming like a victim? Why am I self-sacrificing so much? Why am I doing so many favors to others? Why am I causing self-harm to myself? Subconscious acts these are. Saw the catch? Simple thing, but how deep it is. Very deep. I'm revealing this to you because these are part of most of our systems and we are not aware of it. So unconsciously, we create life patterns around us, and then that becomes our life, and we get jumbled up into a lot of troubles. Lot of unwanted stuff. See, I told you these simple things. The simple inability to express myself that I need love. We all need love. But our ego self, no, I am not going to ask for love. Why should I ask or beg for love? I am not going to be. So the moment you become sophisticated, what happens is, you are not being expressed. You are not being the real you, the way you are. You need not ask for love, but you can be open about it. You can show it openly. But the moment you hide it, subconscious takes over. Now, to become loved, all these kind of cranky behaviors start coming into you, because you don't want to lose somebody you love, or you want to attract some people into your life so that you can be loved. For that, you will start emotionally blackmailing people. Because somewhere you might know, oh, that person is going to leave me. Inside you get an insight, and now you try to twist that person somewhere, manipulate that person somewhere, emotionally blackmail that person somewhere. It is not because you are wanting to do harm to that person. It is because you want to continue to be loved. You don't want to lose somebody. But because you are not being yourself, your subconscious has taken over. And the subconscious is trying to be yourself. In different ways. Manipulative ways. You will feel victimized. You might express even being, you have done this to me, that people did this to me. You can see when people are ditched, or they themselves leave somebody in a relationship, they cut off with others. Something happens in their relationship. The next relation that they are trying to attract, or they want, it will most of the time be a victim mentality. I have seen many people attract new relationship by being a victim, by self-pitying and saying, life has done this to me, she or he did this to me, I did not deserve this, it was their problem, they did this to me, and look, I am ruined, I am in this state. And we become so pitiable, in self-pity, and we project that to another person because we want to buy somebody's compassion subconsciously. We want to buy that. We want to book that person into this so-called incompleteness. So we tell stories, this happened, that happened, and then we cry, sob, and then that person comes and consoles us. We feel good. person says, don't worry. And this is what we want. We want attention. We want love. We want somebody. But see how it has attained that through different manipulative ways. See, the path of awareness is very beautiful. It shows, it reveals all this. Why many people don't follow this path is, it is very crude. Because we cannot face who we are. The other day I put a post from a master who said, learn to face who you are. He used to say, learn to have the courage to face who you are. The path of awareness shows who you are. And what I'm talking in this episode, in this session, is not a goody stuff. I can see that's why people don't like this. I feel triggered. But then if you want expansion, you got to get over this. Otherwise, you are stuck for lifetimes. Because if you run away from this, whom are you running from? You're running from yourself. This will catch up some or the other time. I told you, the well-established guys also, business guys also, who did whole life they spent thinking they'll get satisfaction there, contentment there, peace there. They didn't get it. At the end of their life, they turn and then they see. What has happened? The soul has caught up. You cannot escape it. And these were all escapists. What could not be expressed from the soul directly, they try to find happiness, love, contentment, peace in worldly pursuits. They did that, but they didn't get it. Ultimately realized. So ultimately life catches up. We cannot run from this. So this is only for people who are bold enough to face their inner. This is all shadow work, what I'm talking about. Shadow work is considered very dirty. Shadow, why do you want to look into your shadows? If you don't look into it, subconsciously all these problems will begin. I was asked once, why do you want to look into the negative aspect of you? We look at only the positive. We look at positive. I said I have done that all my life. Looking at the positive. But somewhere, this deep thing that is lying buried, it doesn't allow me peace. It has followed me wherever I go. In the name of positivity, optimism. Followed because it's incomplete. It needs completion. There is no mukti, there is no moksha. You go for moksha, liberation, whichever path we take towards realizing the self, but without your completion of these incomplete things, you cannot. And to complete them, you have to face them. That is why my master said, learn to have the courage to face who you are. And learn to have the courage to face who you are means it is definitely a negative self. It is the negative aspect, a shadow aspect, which I don't want to look into. That is why we should have the courage. If it is something positive and nice, goody, positive, optimist thing, we don't need courage for that. Courage is needed to face this aspect. So being yourself. I didn't look at these messages. I did the same mistake with my daughter, imposing my unfulfilled ambition on her. But lately I realized my selfishness and realized her to decide for her. Beautiful. Vaniji, that's beautiful. If you can honestly put this out, it's beautiful. Now, how many parents do? It's very difficult. Until you come into the path of awareness, until you have the courage to look into these, we will all justify that what we have done is the best for our child. Good. It's not to criticize the parents or no, there is no need to criticize the parents. But look through these loopholes. When you look through these loopholes, without judging that person, without cursing that person, without trying to, work out with that person, you can still take a positive turn and do what is right. You don't have to go and mend your parents. You don't have to go and mend the governments, the societies. You don't have to change laws out. Nothing to do. You just become aware of the game. You see the game and you start working on those aspects which you can work on. So it's not necessarily demeaning somebody. The talk that I'm doing here might look like demeaning, but it's not. Here it might look that I'm going against parenthood. No, I'm just revealing things to you. Will this make children revolt against their parents? No, not necessarily. If they are people of awareness, no. Egoistically they might do, but if you are in this, and what I am talking here is all about awareness. Once you become aware, okay, because I have become so much aware of what society has done, how the world is influencing me, how my parents have influenced me, how so many traditions have influenced me in so many ways. But when I see the transparency in that, what I do, I don't go and criticize them, I don't go and try to mend them, I don't curse my parents, I do love them. I love them for who they are, because now I understand what they have done is not purposely. They didn't do it purposely. Poor thing, they were not even aware. They didn't have the gift of awareness. I have the gift of awareness. It's my grace, it's my blessing, I am grateful to it. So if I have this gift of awareness and the Lord has blessed me with that, then I should put it to right use. And what is the right use? By not criticizing or going against my parents, by not hating them for what they did. Because this awareness has shown me this was not their gift. They could not see it, and they could not see it. They did what best they could do. See, there is nothing bad, negative about this. But you have understood the whole game. Understood. You have seen the transparency in this. And when you see the transparency, you have more respect for them. What will happen is, now you cut off from that false system. That might be a challenge. The challenging aspect is that because the world wants you to function the way they want. Especially, imagine if parents or society or the countries or governments, they have seen you or imposed upon you or made you live in a certain way that they want. Suddenly when you stop identifying with that and you don't connect with that, that will be felt. It is very palpable. It will be felt in the family also. Something, this guy is not listening to us anymore. There the challenge begins, and there begins your challenge also. They have a challenging time because now you have been their comfort. All this time you have been their security. You have been their dream fulfiller. Till now I was living my life through you, and now you are disconnecting from that, means I will be unable to live my life. What will happen to me? I feel insecure. I feel suddenly lonely. I feel cut off. I feel harassed. I feel punished. So what will happen if it is a parent who is not in awareness? They will use different tactics. What will happen to the world which is not in awareness? The society which is not in awareness? The governments which are not in awareness? They will use different tactics. Now, if I cannot let you go this way, I try this way or try this way. There are all kind of trials that will come to keep you glued in that. That is where the challenge of the aspirants begin. That is where you need grounded spirituality and awareness and the power. The power of connecting directly to the higher realms, to your master, to the higher tattvas, to that source, and gaining energy and source and inspiration from there, and being rooted in your true awareness, in your soul purpose, in your soul agenda. What have you come to do? Once you realize that, once you start contemplating, becoming aware of it, it reveals itself to you. This is my purpose. Then you will suddenly see, oh my God, I feel so much satisfaction in doing this. I have not realized this, but today I see these things give me so much satisfaction if I want to do. And these are not so complicated. Whereas I've been living a complicated life thinking that I'll get the most better thing. But no, this is so simple. That's what I said. The life of your soul is very simple. The requirements of your soul is very simple. You will see that you have been living all your life in all kind of comforts, in all kind of zones which you thought will give you so much of security and happiness, and suddenly you find yourself, you are being most peaceful and so joyful in one corner of one ashram, having just simple 2 rotis or chapatis or little rice, very plain food, and you feel yourself being so contented. I have taken my friends, my rich friends, to the ashrams, and they tell me, we'll go there. I ask why. They say the food is so good there. Now somebody will say, what? You go to an ashram to eat food? Yes, I can see through that transparency. The food that they eat in big lavish 5-star hotels, cooked by major cooks in their own house, are done most lavishly, the most costliest affairs of food, is not giving them happiness. But now suddenly they break 2 pieces of bread or rotis in some ashram full of sattvic essence which is missing in their own food, and they see the satisfaction that's coming, and they say, let's go to that ashram to have food. I've heard them saying, let's go to this 5-star to have food, and now they're saying, let's go to the ashram to have food. What? The soul. The souls, I told you, the soul requirements are very simple, and the soul requirements are so simple, it will give you complete happiness and peace there. And this is when the person tries to find out more. And connecting to such places, or connecting to people who are in such awareness, they become aware of their own shadow self, and they become aware of who they truly are and what they truly want. What is their life purpose? They see, oh my God, this is not my life purpose. Suddenly there is a misalignment. Suddenly there is a lack of interest in what they have been doing. Suddenly they find so much satisfaction in these things. So I have friends who say, come on, let's go. Let's go and treat the children. No other satisfaction than that. They are ready to spend 2, 3, 4 days in vicinity doing such kind of charity activities, serving the poor, spending money, time, energy, investing in such simple things, feeding the animals on the street, picking up stray animals and trying to do something for them, or putting someone else to do something for them, and it gives them so much of satisfaction. Have you seen the success story of so many people running charitable organizations, running old age homes or animal shelters? Have you seen? You look at them, they are all successful people. I have seen so much success people who have left, who have condemned everything, given up everything and invested doing these things, because now they have understood their soul purpose. They say, this is my soul purpose. And you see how simple they are, how simple these principles are, how simple this lifestyle is. So this is when they start being themselves. They start becoming themselves. Till now they were something else. Now they start being themselves. Now they know how to express things. So when they are with me, they start talking this way, that way. I still come to the point. They still talk, no, I'm talking about that. I said, is this what you want? They say, yeah, that's it. I said, it's one simple word. It's one simple sentence. Why are we beating around the bush? Because we have got habituated. We have got trained that we need to be cunning. We need to be manipulative. We need to beat around the bush. Why? Because we have never expressed ourselves. So difficult to express. Whole life we have lived without expressing ourselves. And I'm telling you, the joy when people get, when they get to express themselves. Nothing like that. I've seen people who are so stringent. Coat, suit, top class meetings and all that, traveling in business class flights and all those things, and they have all these tours and sitting with high tech people in conferences and all that, eating great meals and high tech tea and all that, and then I see suddenly when they are out on a simple journey, a spiritual journey, they are sitting in a shaky, creaky, cranky bus, shaking and moving all its nuts and bolts, not at all comfortable, but there's so much of joy. The village roads that is jumping and pumping. The trains, the simple sleeper class trains or simple AC trains, no business class flights. Simple. Where you sit on the floor, where you talk to travelers, where you share food with your travelers, where travelers share food with you and you are not used to it. You have been carrying the sanitizer all your life. One of my friend, somebody was giving some food. He was looking at this. What must be in that food and all that stuff. And finally, when the food was being shared and was being forced upon, he took out his sanitizer. I saw all that. and he was ready to give me sanitizer because I was ready to take the food. Somebody was giving it with love. And simple food, very simple food. So when the sanitizer was coming to me, I came to know, without the sanitizer, I put my hand into that food and I ate. Gave them a jolt. Oh, like these things also happen. Never seen bland life, never seen plain life. And then we go out and sit, and when they are sitting, they are very concerned. In the trains, I sit down, sometimes at the doors. Eeks! You being eeks, I am myself. I am happy being myself. I don't have to show off anything. I don't have to adjust to make people happy. If you are not happy, that's your problem. I do what I feel happy. If I sit on the floor, I sit there. And I enjoy it. And the moment they see, there's so much of enjoyment happening. And then they slowly adjust and they sit, and then they see there's laughter and fun and so much fun. Never had in business class flights also. That's what I'm saying. The call of the soul is always very simple. We go into great malls and water parks, the water kingdom and all those things, to play with that artificial water. But I'm telling you, there are times when I've entered into streams, natural streams, simple natural stream flowing. And there they are very selective. Should I put my shoes on? Should something poke me and I am something who take off everything and just jump into the waters. And I start splashing and playing. They are lured and they come and sit, and then they are feeling that experience. That pure natural water, when it touches them, they feel. Then that artificial water which is pumped, I don't know how many people's dirt also is carried in that again and again. Artificial life to real life, natural life, and the soul is happy beyond explanation. It drinks that water. I had gone to Ganeshpuri in one forest kind of location where a Siddha used to live, and there, of course, my friends were there, and they were still like very skeptical. Oh, you got to be like this, you got to use your sanitizer, you got to be. In the jungle, nobody uses sanitizers. Half our immunity comes from here. I'm telling you this. If your mind is weak, your immune system gets weak. Best of sanitizers cannot protect you. And I'm telling you, never in my life I've put one drop of sanitizer which I've purchased with my own money. One drop. I might do it when I go to the malls. You got to. I have never purchased even one bottle and put one drop from my own money. I don't need it. I don't buy into somebody else's idea of being protected. Get that? When somebody else convinces you this is the way to be protected, and herd mentality, maximum population doing it, I do it. When you can't be yourself, you be somebody else. The whole world is living somebody else. They're not their true self. I'm telling you, if we all learn to tune to our own true selves, we won't need most of them, and most of the troubles will go off. Even these big wars will go off. The famine will go off. The natural calamities will go off. If we just be yourself, express it. And being yourself is what? Very natural, very simple. We have never attuned to that. We live artificial life because we don't know who we are. We think that is what we are. I told you, our status, our name, our identities, our personalities. And that personality is trying to fulfill all that. Not the real me. The real me is sitting there, hiding, waiting for an opportunity. When shall I get to express myself? When can I live a simple, natural life? When can I pluck a fruit from the tree and eat it? When can I not believe what the world has made me believe? I go into all these malls and these stores, fruit stores, all these apples and mangoes and oranges and everything is tagged, labeled, clean, neat. They look very fresh, they look colorful, they look big. So the world goes by, the bigger the fruit, the larger the fruit, the cleaner the fruit, the best the fruit. I've seen guava, amrud, Peru, so big, unnatural. That's not natural. By looking at it, you can say this is fake. Humans have grown it because the idea is the bigger, the best, the cleaner, the best, the spotless, the best. So you have all these fruits, no spots on it. They look like plastic, artificial life. And we buy it. Why buy it? Because somebody has sold that idea to us. This is the way to live life, artificial. Take this artificial, become artificial, and we become artificial. And if I say, pluck that apple from that tree, you'll say, no, there is a hole in that. It seems like a bird has pecked it. You know what? Whenever we go to the jungles, we eat the fruit that is pecked by birds. Normally when you go into the market and if some bird or this has pecked it, you will avoid that. This is not good. I am telling you, that is the best fruit, because the birds of nature, everything in nature knows what is best, and the birds, the squirrels, the birds knows the best fruit through its intuitions, through its senses, and it goes and eats that fruit which is the best. And there are people who do this. There are tribals who actually look into these kind of hints to know which is non-poisonous. In the jungles when they go, they don't know which is a poisonous fruit, which is not. They look closely at which the birds are eating, which the monkeys are eating, which the squirrels are eating. And then they have those kind of. Very common sense. This is a real sanitization that protects you. But what the world has done, they have created artificial fruits and they sell it. Synthetic material, cancer causing material, but we relish eating that. Status, this is good for status. You can see, we've bought so many, and the higher the price, the better. No, my dear, this is all false. I never buy vegetables from the grocery markets or and the malls and all that. Never. Though I see a lot of things there, I buy it from the very poor guys. And this is not to boast about. This is common sense. I buy it from the very poor guys who sit on the roads and sell it for very low prices. Not for the price, but I look at that product that is coming from the villages which they have not grown with any fertilizers. Small farms, home farms they have. They cultivate it, and poor thing, they come and sell it for their living. But we, out of fashion, we ignore that. We want something that is better priced. We're thinking it is better, and that is a poisonous stuff. And here you have fresh things what they are selling, poor guys. That's what I'm saying. Who you are, who you want to be, what your soul is seeking in this world is very simple. It's a very simple life. It's a very natural life. That is why I'm telling you, there is peace in simplicity. There is peace in naturality. Are you seeing it? When you go into ashrams, why do people love the food and environment and the people and everything there? Because they are themselves, they are just authentic beings. There is no fashion there. There is no formalities there. There is no one to please anybody there. You are a minister or you are a cobbler. It doesn't matter when you enter an ashram. You are just one human being. And they treat you as a human being. There is nothing to pacify you. There is nothing to comfort you. There is nothing that they want votes out of you. They present what they are. And when that person comes down to their real self and nourishes it, they feel, oh my God, there is full satisfaction here, which I have never got in all this, so much of comfort, costly life that I live. And they are pulled to these places. Why do you think the founders of Apple and Google and Facebook and all those people came down to a simple ashram in India. The Beatles and all the great Bollywood actors, Angelina Jolie, I think, Will Smith, how successful they are, but they find so much peace and satisfaction when they wear a simple lungi around their waist and sit down in Banaras and do a havan. They don't know what it is. They don't even know what it is. But it gives them some satisfaction sitting next to a natural river in the most simplest clothing. Whereas when they live in the artificial world, they have all kind of fashion wear, costly. Artificial life doesn't give satisfaction. There you cannot be who you are. So what I'm trying to tell you today is, be who you are. You can only be who you are when you are connected with your authentic self, and when you have the courage. When you have the courage to live that life. It takes courage. Yes, it takes courage. Why it takes courage? Life is so simple. You might say, well, what is there in that taking courage? You just now said your friends, business guys and all that, suddenly they love simple food in the ashram. What is courage in there? Yes, there is courage. Because now, if they start coming to the ashram regularly, or to the places where I go, their home people will feel something is wrong with them, because they have conditioned in that way. They feel something is wrong with this guy, going the wrong direction, insecurity. I told you, somebody is being fulfilled, somebody's dream is being fulfilled there, and now that person is not finding any interest here and is going there. Oh, it's an insecurity. How do we pull that person back? All kind of actions and reactions and all kind of emotional, subtle ways, manipulations, everything begin then, churning. That's why I said challenging. That's the challenge, to be yourself. So I found these guys might love it, but they're scared now. Scared because of the challenges. And now they are half there, half here. Now still they know the peace is here, simple life, but still now they have to live up to somebody, because deep down in their heart there is that insecurity also, to be loved, to be accepted. I need people around me, I need these. So there is an insecurity link this side also. Perhaps if I don't fulfill their needs, I will lose them. I don't want to lose, because I feel insecure. And now to feel secure and to keep them in place, I start giving what they want. And when I give what they want, I realize I'm not being myself. And when I realize that, I still feel it's okay not to be myself. At least I'll not lose that person. See the catch? Are you getting it? This is where the challenge of aspirants are. The challenge comes from here. The challenge comes from not just the conditions that has been built up till now, but now to fight out of those conditions. Because but till now, not only those people have got secure with your kind of artificial living, but you have also got secure with this kind of artificial living, which has kept people around you. Are you getting the catch? So that brings misery now. There are so many people, I forget these. I'm telling you, there are so many people, even right now when I'm speaking, even the people who might be seeing this video now or you might see it later, you will realize that there is so much of longing within you to travel to a certain place, to go to a certain place, to enjoy a certain simple, but there are so many restrictions. I had one friend who told me once, he loved coming. Now he's not coming around, long back. He used to come for my spiritual, with me for my spiritual tours, and he used to enjoy a lot. Slowly his house people became worried about him, and they felt insecure that they will lose this person. And this person was not completely spiritual. He was still a partly in the other part of the world where he used to booze, He had other kind of friends where they used to go for picnics and trips and long tours to places like coastal areas, to Goa, to Mauritius, to the great islands, and enjoy parties there, parties of booze and all kind of good and wrong funs that they have there, leisure. They were used to that kind of, he was used to that kind of life. Then he started coming with me and he saw there's so much joy and happiness in this simple life that we lived. You don't need all those artificial, clamoring. So he started coming more and more trips, and suddenly his family started feeling very insecure. And he told me, I remember, he told me once, he said, what to do here? People at home are happy if I go to a certain picnic spot or a destination place and have leisure. I booze, I snooze out, I conk off after boozing, I overdrink, I have any kind of wrong leisures. It's okay with my family. They know when we go out for leisure trip what we do. But they are okay with it, but not with a spiritual tour. He said this. And he said this not with delight. He said this with a deep pain in his heart. He said, this is what my family is. They will prefer me to booze, but they will not prefer me to sit and meditate in a cave. Why? Is it wrong to meditate in a cave? Is it wrong to go and not booze for 3-4 days? And detoxify yourself, in fact, rejuvenate yourself. Is it wrong? It's not wrong. Then why does the family become insecure when you go for a meditation trip or a spiritual trip? And why they are very happy and comfortable? You rather go with all boozing friends and get boozed and drunk and do all kind of nonsense. It's still okay. Why? You know why? Because when they go and enjoy in a fake world, they are strongly rooted in the fake world, which is what everybody wants that person to be rooted in. Because mine is a fake world, ours is a fake world. We live in that fake world, and you also are a part of that fake world. So you be rooted in that fake world, you travel in the fake world. But when you go to the real world, you can become the real you. You can understand the real you, and when you become the real you, you will disown the fake you. You will disown all that is unreal. And when you disown all that is unreal, you are going to disown me, which is unreal. Are you getting the catch? You are going to disown us who have created this false illusory life. I don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose you. You are our security. You are everything. And we have built our lives in this web of illusions. Are you seeing this? This directly they will not tell, but they will do indirectly because they don't know. I am telling you the science. I am telling you what I see through my awareness. The whole concept unwinded. They cannot see it. What they see is only some fear. They don't know. When he's going for meditation, he is going there, he's sitting in the cave. Why do you need that? Why do you need to go? So if you ask that person, what is wrong in that? There's nothing wrong. See, there's so much of work here. Your children are needing you here. You are having so much fun there. Can't you postpone this? There is so much of responsibility here. There's so many pending things here. Something or the other, which is not true, only will be told. Because consciously they are not aware what is there. So something will be made up, justified. Some reason will be given and made to be believed that this is wrong. It is not the way people live. This is not the way the world lives. You are doing something that is very... And now that poor guy is alone, and he has lived all his life in that artificial life. He cannot fight that system now. He has become a part of it. And unknowingly, he is also relying on them that they might not, he is also insecure that they might not live. So the moment both these insecure parties start throwing tantrums and do something emotional blackmail, showing that if you are doing that, no, okay, you go and sit in the cave, I'll go and sit in my mica. I'll go to my mother's place or my family place, not with the in-laws. You go there, I go here. Emotional blackmailing. The moment that is done, that guy comes to his senses. No. I'm here, darling. What do you think? That just went for one day. Don't worry about it. I'm here with you. I'm here. Don't worry. We will go for a picnic. Let's go. And then they distract themselves from the reality. Why? Because that guy also is now in the fear. If this spouse goes to the parents' place, then what will happen to me, my children? Better I give in. So this is the real challenge that the seekers actually face. This is why most of them cannot live their authentic self, because it's so challenging to break the web of illusions that they have been built around. Very challenging. I have seen this myself, but I am telling you, I have put my foot down. All these decades, I've put my foot down when it comes to what I want to live, the way I want to live, what I want in life. I will have it. And somewhere I went to the extent of even convincing myself, even if I lose everything, it's okay. In the starting, it was very difficult. Not just with loved ones. I'm telling the whole society, the way you live, the whole thing is structured in a certain way. If you go against that, you are out of it. You're not accepted anymore. You're not loved. You're not treated as one of that. You're an alien. Why? Because you are being yourself. You cannot be yourself. You have to be the way we have told, we have designed it to be. Then you are a part of us. The whole world functions that way. When I put my foot down many times, severe thrashings I took in many ways. Most of the thrashings were my emotional instability, insecurities, the false creations which I made for myself. It was coming from there. I had to face my shadow. This is the shadow. I had to face my shadows. In the name of positivity, if I keep on lurking these shadows, I would have remained a puppet all my life. In the hands of this world-made systems. I don't understand the world-made systems. So today what I'm living is what is my true soul purpose. I find immense happiness and peace in doing or living the way I'm living today. This is the way I am. And it took a lot of time for people to be convinced that this guy is not going to change. And that will happen. First, people will try to prevent, to manipulate in various ways, to emotionally drain you, emotionally blackmail you, trigger all your buttons, push all your buttons and trigger you. Try every way to get you to what they want you to do. Finally, when they come to know that this is not going to happen, they leave you alone. I would rather say they don't isolate you. In the start, there is all this isolation, there is all these tricks, there is all this manipulation. Oh, you are not doing, we don't care. You are not part of us, you go ahead. We disown you, we don't love you, we don't accept you. And if I am a cranky person who am so much dependent on love and all that, I will fall in for that. If I say no, my love, my source is here. Something else that is more permanent than these limited systems around me. And I cling on to that which is permanent. And I find my source and I root my source there and I plug in there. And that becomes my motivation. That becomes my support. That becomes my protection. That becomes my guide. And when I start living in there and I realize through my life experience, oh, it works. And I am supported, I am loved. I am loved by those beings who are truly unconditional beings. Not this conditional love. This is all conditional. You do this, I love you. You don't do this, you are not here. Conditional love. Conditional love is equal to fake love. And I realized I have been living, striving to get some fake attention and to get some fake love from here and there. And I have been building my castles on this fake love. I built my whole house of dreams on this fake love. And one brick shakes from here, my whole building shakes. But then I go run to fix that brick by giving into what that falseness is. And in that process, I lose my true identity. This is the challenge. This is the challenge of aspirants. This is a shadow work. It is a shadow work. Now, the choice is there. There are two choices. Whether you want to look into this and be authentic, get into it, get rooted into it, and live into it, and be that true you, and start relishing that, and slowly win over that. That is one choice. Or the other choice is give in to situations and live in something called positivity. These are negative things. Let me look at only positive things. I'm telling you, positive means even affirmations. Let me think positive. Let me affirm positive. Let me chant something positive. Chant means I am happy. I am content. Let me do that. But I'm telling you, if your root is deep rooted in your shadow, you will not even be able to soulfully chant that affirmation. When you see I am healthy, it will not come from your soul. And if your affirmation is not strong, it cannot manifest. These are my life findings, how I have found life, how I have experimented with my life. I don't find it working that way. It's only when I turn back and look at that thing and I take a decision, okay, let me work on this. It doesn't take much. And there is no hurry. There's not like, in 2 days I'm going to wipe out. No, let it take 2 years. No, who cares? Let it take a whole lifetime. Who cares? But I want to deal with it and I want to go to the root. Because if I don't do it in this lifetime, in the name of positivity, and if I conk off in this lifetime, I come back again in a repeated circle to relive these kind of experiences until I face these and learn lessons and overcome that. So instead of waiting for lessons to come up from somewhere, one is I look back and see and learn where my lessons are, where my triggers are, where my loopholes are, and go on fixing them simultaneously. I find that very easy. I don't put full attention that I am going about living my life. The way the world is designed, okay, fine, I live in this world the way it is designed because I am supposed to be a part. I am an earthling here, a citizen of this earth, earthling. So let me be a part of it. Okay, there are rules and okay, I agree to it. But deep down in the core of my heart, I am watching, I am observing. Which is the me, real me, which is not the real me. I look in the world and see which is the real world, which is the unreal world. All the time in awareness. And I learn. There is so much of learning happening. And when this awareness keeps on showing which is real, which is false, I connect with that which is real in the world and drop which is unreal. I connect with that which is real within me and drop which is unreal. And in this process, what am I doing? There is a beautiful network happening within. There is a beautiful churning happening within. There is a beautiful meaning happening to life because I am living a purposeful life. This is purposeful. I am seeing the purposes being met. I am seeing transformation happening within me. I am seeing myself overcoming my own hurdles. I am seeing myself taking care of all those areas which needs to be taken care of. And when I do all that, I know I am living a successful and fulfilling life mission, because that is the sole agenda why we come here, to fulfill all these unfulfilled desires, unfulfilled needs, unfulfilled areas of our life. We fill in the gaps while walking the journey. We do all that we need to do. Sadhana never stops. Sadhana is part and parcel of everything. I never compromise on sadhana. I do it. I do everything what is needed. Where chanting is needed, I do the chanting. Where prayer is needed, I do the prayers. Where travel is needed, I travel. Where treks are needed, I trek. Whatever is needed, I do it. But at the same time, the awareness is simultaneously working on all these areas of life. So wherever and whatever I am doing in this world, simultaneously there is a work happening. And I see when simultaneously when I am working on these areas, my vision ahead becomes more and more clearer. The path becomes more and more wider and clearer, because most of the muck on our path, most of the obstacles and challenges on our path are wired back to these deep subconscious, unconscious realms. I told you in the start of this video, if you are feeling unfulfilled, you are doing everything, all the practices and still feeling some, it is because these things are lurking inside us. We are not freeing this. Why? Because we don't have the courage. I told you, the moment I started talking about parenthood and child and all that, I started triggering some button, people zoop. A chunk of people just vanished. This is to show how preciously we have kept this hidden. We don't want to, but we want growth. We want evolution. We want expansion. But we don't want to work on this. And it will never happen. Awareness is deep work. Awareness is making a contract with yourself, ensuring that, I'll take care of these things. I'll look into all these things. And I'll have the courage to not only look, I'm telling you, I'm going an extra mile and saying, not just the courage to look in, I am having the courage here to speak about it also. If you want, you can have the courage to speak, if that works for you. Normally when you speak this, in your world around you, you will be taken for a cranky guy. They'll outcast you. Outcast you because these are not in their norms. That is why all the mystics you see, they are always outcasts. Bhagavan Nityananda used to say, we are all called always madmen. We are madmen, and they are mad. You look at them, they'll look very weird and mad. Why? Because they don't fit in the world of ours. See the difference here. The world that we have built, the Maya, the illusory world, we live in that. Look at the mystics, they're completely out of it. And look at their lifestyle, look at the way they are, look at the way they look, the way they behave, completely different from what we do. You cannot associate any qualities of theirs with what we do. They are the purest form of being yourself. They are the purest forms of the most authenticity of that soul that they are. That pure soul is that authentic, which is so transparent. So transparent. And have you seen, when they are living themselves, when they are being themselves, they are scared of nothing. They have so much of courage to be themselves. Even if 99.9% of the population don't accept them, and that is a truth. 99.9% of the population don't accept them, and they have no worries. Look at that courage. They live. What are these? These are examples that God has sent us of authenticity. I am not saying you got to be like them, but they are our inspiration. We can start walking towards that. We don't need to completely become them. At least if we become a partial of them also, I am telling you, it's great liberation in this human journey. It's great liberation. That is why poor thing they are treated so so lowly. I'm telling you, look at the power that they have. The power of that simplicity, the power of that authenticity. They have such powers. They can think and it can materialize there. That kind of powers. And we, living in a fake world, are every day struggling to bring one desire, to fulfill one dream. It takes lifetime. And here are the authentic beings. They can do it in a second. Not for themselves, but for others also. Who do you call is more powerful and authentic? These are our role models. So if you don't believe me, because when I talk this, you won't believe. So I have to give these examples. Look at these. Observe them. And what I am talking is all their language. These are all the mystical ways of living. This authenticity, being yourself. This is all their ways. Transparent living, truthful living, honest living. How many of us has the courage to do that? It just takes a little bit mustering of a little bit of courage. And when that courage makes you live the way you want to live this life, your inspiration will begin. The motivation will come from there, because you will see the satisfaction and peace coming in from there. But right now, we are caught up. We are totally caught up in so many ways. We don't even have the courage to say no to somebody who is offering us a food. Let us say a loved one has made some food and they are offering, and you don't want that food. I don't want this. No. Why? Okay, give. You don't want to offend that person. You want to please that person. Whatever, however you may justify, no, they have made it with hard work, it's love, and what, blah, 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 whatever you say. Ultimatum is, you don't have the courage to even deny that and say honestly, because it's in your heart that you don't want it. And if it is in your heart, you have to have the courage to express it. I don't want it. Being yourself. I told you, if you cannot be yourself, you become people pleasers. You always live somebody else's life. You cannot. You are dictated upon, and then you cannot say no to anybody. My Gurudev used to say, learn to say no with confidence. What does that come from? Where does that come from? It comes from authenticity, truthfulness. If you know something is not right, you should have the courage to say no. Do we have? No. We first look into how it will affect the people, how it will affect the scenario, how it will affect my life. Will it bring a drastic change? Will it tumble up everything? Will it become more tension? No, I don't want to do that. It's okay, I adjust. I will never have the courage to say no. Why? Because I'm scared of the consequences. Why you are scared of the consequences? Because your awareness is outside. You are dependent on the outside world than being dependent. If you depend on that one, the true authentic source, and you know that will provide you, that will nourish you, that will guide you, that will protect you. Once you start being rooted in your awareness, then that courage will start coming. I told you, until I made the decision that come what may, even if I lose everybody in my life, it's okay. Whatever extremes, and I could see the fear within me. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What if this tumbles down? How will I do? How will I, how those things. But I'm telling you, many years back it happened. It came to such an extent that I had no other option. And finally I had to say, come what may, whatever happens, I will walk the path that I want to walk. I will live the way I feel will give me happiness. And that really shook my world around. Many ways. But I didn't give up on that. I stuck to that. Why I did not give up? I am not boasting I had great courage. No, it simply is because I could not give up, because that which I was connected to was giving me happiness and peace and contentment. The real satisfaction of being me. The connectedness. And somehow after a certain time, I did not want to compromise that for something. I did not want to sell that piece. Whatever little I was getting from there, I found that is the real thing. And that was real. Because I was identifying with my real self, not the personality traits. My real self and that real thing which is always going to be there. Once you identify with that, once you get rooted in that, I started realizing my life is here, my peace is here. So going according to the worldly ways, it's very difficult. Today when I do these lives and when I'm doing my website work, in the start I had so much of trouble. What is this guy up to? What is he doing? What nonsense is this? Some said, oh, he's trying to become a guru. These are all challenges. Some said, no, this guy is gone off his mind. He's gone off his mind. Oh, some said, no, some trauma in his life made him do that. He's gone off his mind. And I was listening to this. I am sure they wanted me to listen to that. Because that was their hope that, I listen to that and change. They try to put you down. They try to meddle with you there. They try to show you the more insecure zones, dark zones. They try to insult you or demean you. Not directly, and nobody used to do directly, because I'm a Patemo. They were more scared of me. So they used to do all these tactics. But in my practice of awareness, I used to become aware of those tactics and I used to handle it in that manner without affecting the relationships. Because if you go directly taking a panga, it's your ego self that is reacting to it. But in awareness, if you try to work it out, it is the real I working out that stuff. I learned that. It took some time. It took some time to convince people to an extent to say that, okay, this guy will not settle for less. This guy will not change his ways. When I was traveling so much of restrictions came in. Wasting time. You are wandering aimlessly. You have no aims and you are just wandering. You are searching one thing. You are not rooted in one. It all came in. Some said escapism. This is complete escapism, trying not to live in the world and trying to, escape from here and being there. Fourth said, gone off his mind, some trauma or something. Okay, he has lost it. He's lost it now. He is gone case. Cannot come back. So that's a threat. So if you react to that saying, I am a gone case, and if your ego self is triggered, you will say, no, I don't want to be a gone case. I am a winner. I have always competed in this rat race. I have always fought all these competitors. Right from my childhood, I have been trained to fight these competitors and to be successful by the theory of survival of the fittest. Now I won't give up. How they call me a loser? I'm not a loser. I'm going to come back. And that is what they want you to. So in awareness, I used to see that cunningness coming. Okay, you are putting that taunt or that sarcasm for this. It's a catch. Because they can't get even with you directly. So they put in indirect. They said escapism. Oh, okay. I know if it is escapism or not. And I don't owe a reply or an answer for everybody's problem or everybody's tantrums. Why should I? I am not answerable to them. So I started shutting down. They said something, okay. And I started going with that. Escapism. Yeah. I love to escape. I don't like this world of yours. I'm an escapist. I'm escaping to the mountains, to the jungles, to the caves. And I did that. So slowly that also did not work. So all these kind of, gimmicks and tactics, sarcasms. I have seen so many sarcasms. People being so sarcastic because they cannot be direct with me. So they become sarcastic. So I have heard them saying sarcastic words in many ways. Sarcasm is used to trigger you in some way. to reach the message to you in some way which they cannot directly talk. Indirectly they convey the message to you. But the result they want that only, that you finally realize and understand and become that what they want you to become, or they feel you should become. First I used to fight those sarcasms. The ego self in me also stood up. No, it's not that way. Why did I don't be this way and that way? Finally I understood, oh, this is the game. I said, okay, go ahead with the sarcasm. So whatever used to be sarcastic, I used to become, oh, okay, I'm that. I'm just that. Finally they saw that also is not working. Then they put some false accusations. Tried to link me with all kind of stories, false stories, made up stuff and this and that went on for years. Why? Just to pull me down from what I'm doing. Why? Because the world feels somewhat insecure and threatened when you are evolving on the right path. They throw challenges. That also I persevered. First I was very quiet for many years. I was quiet, taking everything. One day I blasted out. They didn't expect that. Blasted out with evidences, because I had collected evidences finally. Okay, this is your language, the language that you speak. You understand only this language. Let me get back to you in that language. I spoke to them in that language also. After that, it's gone. So I could see every step, every moment, not just my loved beings, but the society, the community, the world at large, you see, are against these kind of principles. Then when I started doing live, there were a lot of people who came interrupted, posted a lot of harsh messages, wrong messages, troubled, angry buttons, this, that, tantrums. But I kept going. Simple, kuch bhi kiya, block. No. Then they said, it's, as a spiritual person, how can you react and block people like that? Your ego is being hurt. Yes, my ego is being hurt. I don't want to hurt my ego. But I continue doing what I... This is what I'm saying. Persisting and being what you are, without being detracted by what others have to say. Without buying their ideas, because they will try to convince you in all methods that what you're doing is not right. But I persisted. And even I do it today. And many other modalities were tried to tell that his intent is not good, is not in the right direction. I said, go on. The one who will decide my intent, my fate, is that one. I trust that. Until that takes me, wherever that takes me, I'm fine. I am telling you, there my confidence comes in. I am rooted in that. Thy will be done. And then I go on. Finally, it took some time for all these things to settle. But I was amazed at the kind of, the trigger that the world has when you become not a part of them. When you decide to be just yourself, when you decide to follow your true inner self, suddenly everything around feels threatened. It shows how strong the illusion and how strong that illusory thing is, that in which we are caught up. We say we are caught up in Maya, but we are caught up in the Maya of the people caught up in the Maya. There are people who are caught up in the Maya very strongly. We are actually caught up in the Maya of those people. Because this whole thing, the whole design has been built by people of Maya. Maya Nagari mein, everything is a Maya. Everything. You see, the way the world functions is all illusory. That is why only a few of these mystics stand out of it. They have nothing. They are completely out of norms. Completely means to the core. We have etiquettes, they have no etiquettes. You eat with spoon and they will eat like this. I remember my guru saying, he used to eat that way. He used to relish. Give him forks and spoon. Never can eat with fork and spoon. When I was in Delhi, we are people here in the south always eating from our hand. That's the culture here. And that is how we are taught here. But when I went to Delhi, suddenly I saw spoon and forks. People were eating even dal chawal in spoon. I could not. But then to become a part of them, I had to adapt. I started taking the spoon and I never felt relished, satisfied. I used to wonder. I would not be surprised if they ate biryani also with spoon. And even a chicken biryani where they are tearing the chicken also from there. And they do it. I can't imagine how people would do that here in South. The pickle is so big and how they would poke their fork in that and eat the pickle when you want a part of it. Or in the papad. How are you going to put that fork in that? It's very funny, but people do that. Finally, I threw my spoons and I was the only person, I'm telling you, only person who was eating by hand. And when I used to eat by hand, everybody who was sitting down there, all their eyes would be in my plate. Somebody has gone against the normal conditions, the norms. It's not a part of us, something weird, eating by hands. And I was amused. I'm telling you, this is a real happening. Because people have lived that way there. And go to see, their guru, my guru is the same. The master is the same. And the master eats like this. Master throws the spoon and spooks and he puts his hand and eats. Simplicity. I'm telling you, life is simple. What the soul wants is very simple. Very, very simple it is. We complicate things. So there is so much satisfaction that Avadut knows, that mystic knows, that this is my satisfaction. This is my real identity. Not these things which I've stuck in. And they have the courage to say, no, I don't care what you think, what you feel. They live the way they want. Apne marzi ke malik. I'm telling you, the start of the video I said, there are two attitudes. Being myself, apne marzi ka malik, apne hisab se zindagi jeena. One is the egoic self doing that and one is the real self doing that. We are not talking about the egoism. One is apne marzi ka malik hai hum. Jo man mein aaya humne kar diya. Whatever comes to my mind, I do it. I don't care for anything. I do anything that comes to my mind. That is egoic. We are not talking about that. We are talking about the real self, which is identifying itself with who am I first. I am this pure awareness. And from that pure awareness I am doing the pure soul that is there. I am not my body, I am not my mind. Bhagavan Nityananda, I am not the body. He was fully aware 24/7. That is why he didn't wear clothes. He didn't wear clothes. Why? When he lived in a world where everybody wears clothes, 99.9999999% wears clothes, and this is that 0.00001% who is not wearing a cloth. Against the etiquettes, against the norms of the world. Weird person, madman. Whereas he is the most blissful man, which nobody can even fathom the kind of blissful state, liberated state, and having no suffering of any kind, no karmic bonds of any kind, totally liberated, living in his bliss, but nude. Nude because they cannot fathom, they cannot understand the world. Now, I am not saying you got to become an Avadut. I am saying take that as a role model because that's a very high state of consciousness. We are not even that. But I am telling you what happens in that true state of consciousness. Bhagavan Nityananda used to go around nude. You must have seen him in langot, loincloth. Before that he used to go nude. Why did that langot come, He used to walk around in Kerala all nude. And then somebody came and told, a British officer came and told, we arrest you today and you are arrested for not wearing clothes. And Nityananda was in his bliss. He never spoke anything. He was just in his bliss. And this British officer says they have arrested him and they jail him. And that's the punishment they give for not being a part of themselves. for going against. And what is against if you see that way? Are you born with clothes? When you die, do you carry your clothes? No. You come into that world and they are in that state, liberated. So it didn't affect him. You jail him, do him, he will still be nude. He was not like, oh, I'm going to be jailed. No, I'll wear something then. I'll adapt. No, I'm what I am. Finally, they found they could not convince him. They jailed him. They did everything. He would not be convinced. Then finally, they came and requested with folded hands at the devotees of Bhagavan Nityananda. They said, please tell your master to behave in public, because we have our wives who are taking stroll in the evening and they feel so embarrassed. We feel so embarrassed when a nude person is walking like this in front of us. Do something, please. And then the devotees ran to Bhagavan and said, please do this. At that time, Bhagavan looked at one of the devotees with compassion and said, okay, if you feel so, put the loincloth around me. Because before that, the police officers had tried putting him in jail and forcing him to wear clothes, tying clothes around him. But the moment they used to tie, the next moment it is fall down. However strong, knotted, whatever they did, they could not hold that cloth on that body. And Bhagavan did nothing. He was just himself. The cloth just dropped by itself. Because that's the real nature of that godly self. So they were fed up and they went to the devotees. And the devotees came and humbly requested him, please, master, they are feeling embarrassed. So for us, if you can just be in a little dignity, please. Then he said, okay, if you want. He didn't say if the Britishers want, if the world wants. He said, okay. He saw his dilemma. Okay, if you want, you tie the loin. That is the time he tied the loincloth and it stood there after that. After that, Bhagavan Nityananda walked with the loincloth always till his last. Because he was trying to be in a dignified world, so as to not embarrass the people around him. That's all that he did. But he did not need a loincloth. I am getting that. So this is what I mean by, now we don't have to go to that extremes, but we can learn from how true they are, the masters, great masters are to themselves. My master also was a very authentic being. He is. I talk was because I was with him. He is a very authentic being. He will do what he wants. He will live the life he wants. I have heard so many instances. I have seen so many times. One pair of slippers, so many years he used to wear that. It's not changed those slippers, footwear. He wore 2 pieces of clothes again for dignity, for living in this world in dignity. Because he had to do a lot of work in dignity. As far as I know, he had just 2 pairs of t-shirt that I used to always see. He used to wear one, the other t-shirt at home. Only these 2, flip and flop. Whatever else was supposed to be bought for him, he never took. He never accepted. He never wanted. I remember Ishan Bhai even telling me once, I have tried to buy him one t-shirt because he is wearing that same old t-shirt again and again. I laughed and asked him, what happened? He doesn't want it. He says, if you guys want, you buy. I don't need it. Authenticity. Simplicity. What do you need? A simple cloth to cover your body. Okay, you do that. You don't need fashionable stuff. That's authenticity. And he spoke on that. He spoke on so many times that a 50,000 or 5 lakh Rolex watch gives the same time as a 50 rupees watch. And he says, I would prefer a 50 rupees watch because it's the time that I want to see, not the pomp and glamour that comes with it. So there is that simplicity. Their need is fulfilled in that very simple simplicity. The food that he ate, simple, simplest of simple. Not that he couldn't afford all those things. Yes, he could if he wanted, but the satisfaction is in the simplicity. The most simple way. That is why all these great masters always link themselves with children. They are very happy with children. They are not fond of educated beings, too wise beings, too complicated and too sophisticated beings. You will never see them very happy with their company. You will see always them happy with simpletons. I used to see my master very happy with children, farmers, simple villagers, happy with them. Then he was with sophisticated, he used to be very sophisticated. Not his real self. But when he was with the simple people, he used to be in his real self. Joyous expressions. Why? Relating simplicity with simplicity. The true satisfaction, it can be seen bubbling through them. Comes through very simple things. And children are very simple, not complicated. They don't have norms. They don't have conditions. They don't have adaptations. They don't have rules. They are beyond all that. They are simple and they are very expressive. They don't hide anything. Something in the mind and something on the tongue. Children are not that way. They express themselves. That is why these mystics are very close to children. Jesus Christ was. Sai Baba was. Bhagwan Nityananda was. You take any of these great mystics, you will see them close with the simple beings there. Simplicity. Being themselves. They were themselves. Despite any odds. They never adapted. You look at Sai Baba. You look at Jesus Christ. You look at Guru Nanak. You look at Buddha. You look at any great beings who walked this earth. Great mystics who knew, lived in awareness of their true self. They never fell for the conditioning around them, the belief systems around them. Whatever it might be, they never fell for it. They were completely aloof from that and they lived very authentic lives, being themselves. They could be themselves. And that is what made them extraordinarily different from the world, because they were themselves. They could be traced out of this world. Rest all went into the herd. You take 10 top class rich guys or the top successful guys, and they have one thing in common. They are the same. It's from the same herd. There's nothing very extraordinary out of that. Extraordinary beings are these mystics who stand out completely and who refuse to be a part of anything that is fake or illusory. So this is what I meant when I said, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of your needs, if you don't take care of becoming that authentic you, if you say it's okay not to be authentic and let me live this false, I'm telling you, suddenly your subconscious mind will take over and try to become authentic. It will try to live an authentic life through you, which might make things complicated for you, because you consciously are living a complicated life, a fake life, but subconsciously your life is being triggered. I'll give you examples. One is what I gave, to be accepted in the society, among the loved beings, you have to please them. You become a chameleon. You change colors. Somebody changes party, somebody changes colors. Why? Because you want to be a part of them so that you can be safe and accepted by them. Now, this is refusing to be the authentic you, the real you. You are not that, so you don't have the courage probably to say that, no, I cannot be that way. I am this way. So you continue to please or adapt to the surroundings around you. And when that is done, the subconscious mind takes over and tries to become authentic now. I'll tell you how. Now, in order to become accepted, or let's take another example. To be loved is one major deep thing that we all resonate with, to be loved. Now I want to be loved. Now I can't express. When somebody is fighting with me or somebody says I can't express and tell, no, I need your love. I love you, but I need your love too. We cannot express that. Maybe our ego prohibits us. Says, why should I say that? I am not dependent on anybody. But internally you want that person. Externally you fight. I say, okay, chalo dekhenge, okay, fine, let's see what happens. Okay. And you end up in trouble. Now, when you have this kind of a personality, this kind of an attitude, where externally you will not express anything, internally you will feel it. Conflict. What happens is, internally what is true, the subconscious takes to fulfill that. And now the subconscious starts working in your life to make things happen in that way which makes you feel authentic, true. For example, next time you feel you're not going to be loved by someone, you will start playing some tactics automatically, or some drama. You will create some drama, something to keep them in your life beforehand itself. There are minor cases, there are major cases also in this, like extreme cases like self-harm, self-abuse, people self-harm. You have seen people cutting their wrists, cutting themselves, self-cutting behaviors. Self-cutting behavior, if you see, is nothing but a deep need for attention, craving for attention. When it cannot get attention, it subconsciously becomes this habit, and then it becomes a conscious effort in cutting yourself. Because when you cut yourself, when you bleed yourself, when you pain and induce suffering into yourself, the other beings around you look at your suffering and they sympathize with you, and they don't want to see you suffering. They come and rush to your attention. They give you attention. Simple words. So, are you saying that if you consciously cannot express these things, subconsciously you need attention, it will present itself in some such kind of behavior within you, or some kind of atmosphere or environment within you, where you create such a scenario where you attract people into your life to get that attention. So, attention seeking behavior will have all these kind of wrong ideas. These are all the behavioral patterns. See, I am telling you, our life is completely on our behaviors, what we have ingrained in our lives. Our personality till today, if you see, our personality is a sum total of all your belief systems and all the conditions that you have put into yourself, and how you have modeled yourself, lived yourself. You have created yourself in a certain way. You have presented yourself in a certain way. The false I. So when that gets threatened, to save your identity, so save your personality, to live the egoic self of that representation, the soul gets into all these kind of tactics, behaviors, attitudes, and even creating ruckus, some dramas. You have seen dramas are created. Before somebody is striking something to you, you strike them in some way and you try to put them down so that they feel weak and they stay back in that relationship. Notice these kind of patterns. This is all coming from that deep lack of non-expressiveness. You cannot express things. You cannot be yourself. When you cannot be yourself, your subconscious tries to be yourself, but in a very conflicting way. That can become a very conflicting issue in your life. And then we are built up with all these kind of conflicts. If you see, most of our conflicts, it comes from lack of authenticity, including our behaviors and personalities. True spirituality is destroying this false rooted beliefs, this false rooted conditions, this false I completely, on which we are having so much security. Because one day it will shake, I am telling you. Because this is not a permanent thing. It is just a false identity that we temporarily carry, but we deeply know, subconsciously know, that this is not going to last for long. Someday it is going to collapse, because this is not the real me. Or someday I have to leave it behind here, and that creates a kind of restlessness all the time. You are insecure all the time. There is no peace all the time. Now are you getting it? Where the lack of contentment, where the lack of happiness, where the lack of peace, why there is unrest, why there is incomplete feeling. It comes from all this lack of being able to express yourself. Be yourself, live yourself the way you are. What you are is something different. What you are is when you are left alone. When you are left alone, or when you go out into the nature, when you are left alone with children and you're playing and you see the inner child comes up. The real inner child starts playing out. And I'm telling you, all your inner child, all your needs that were not fulfilled during your childhood becomes deeply rooted as these issues. Most of it come from childhood. Childhood, what it has not got. It starts building a false personality till it grows up and becomes an adult and lives in that completely. Completely rooted in that. Harsh to hear, right? Yes, but it's my responsibility. I was prompted to speak these things. That's what I'm saying. Even this work that we do is all about authenticity, all about spilling our own veins and spilling all these things. It doesn't make me perfect in any ways. These are things that I am experimenting, I'm learning, but there is great progress that I see and great transformation. Great, I'm telling you one word, great relief. Because these are all burdens that we carry. So the moment you become free, you are able to live in freedom. You are able to express so beautifully whatever you want to express without feeling cuddled, without being controlled by someone, by any external factors. I actually admire your vision. You are truly blessed to visit such powerful spiritual centers and simultaneously always putting light on the real. Yes, I'm blessed to travel. Not really, we are all blessed, but it depends on what your norms are. So if I travel too often, my friends, if I tell them, no, अभी तो जाके आए हम लोग, last month ही तो गए थे. So last month we had gone, that's fine, but every weekend you sit for a drink, you go out, you don't say every last week only we had, or you don't say 2 days back only I had a peg and I had booze. You go and booze. And going for a spiritual tour for 2 or 3 days, you say last month we had gone. So that way, if my heart calls, I just go out. I don't think what people say. What are they going to say? Oh, this guy is again on the... Many people say, oh, this guy is again gone out. Now where? Now what are you doing there? What is there? Whatever I do, it's my thing, and I care not what people think. I'm going now. In another 2 days, I'm going out again. Enjoying what I do. If you guys want to join me, you can join. I'll be in Kanjangad next week. If anybody wants to come to Kanjangad, they're most welcome. I think I'll be there on, not sure, but I think 20, 21, 22, I think tentatively. March. I'm planning to be there. I don't know how it will work out, but I'm blessed to go there. If you are blessed, be blessed. If you are not blessed, you have excuses, a lot of excuses. Why it doesn't happen? You are blessed to go there, but we are not blessed, why? It's not about blessing, it's about your inability to be what you are, to do what you want. You are saying, okay, but you don't have that responsibility. We have these responsibilities. I do have responsibilities. Who said I don't have? It's all about the priority. I prioritize something, I prioritize my soul over everything else. Everything else can wait. I go by that. Okay, is there any question that today I think I pissed off a lot of people. They just like, oh, this guy is talking what? What we don't want to hear is talking. Please talk what we want to hear. If I want to talk what you like to hear, there are hundreds of channels out there. There are hundreds of people speaking out there on YouTube and everything. What we like to hear. Why should I do that? Yeah, so to finally end it up, if you have any questions, you can put it here. When we don't feel worthy also, when we don't feel worthy enough, then we cannot live the way we want. Worth means my self-worth. I put myself down because that is probably how I have grown up. And I have been told you are not worthy, you are not complete, you are not enough. So I have this feeling that I am not enough, I am not complete, I am somewhere not perfect. And so you have these flaws. And I start living in that. And then I justify all that I do by saying that I am not enough, I am not enough. You are blessed, you are that way. The world is blessed. Oh, that person has this, he has a lot of riches, he has money, he doesn't have to think. These are all justification that we are giving. Look deep inside and see. You don't need it. All you need is a trust in yourself and your higher self and that divinity which has placed you here, which will take care of everything. If you just root yourself in that awareness and link yourself to that and make a commitment to live yourself, I'm telling you it is worthwhile. When you start living yourself, you'll sense that completeness, that purpose of your life being fulfilled, because you have taken birth here to express yourself, to experience the diversity. In the higher planes how it is. The higher planes, it is simple that you want to explain. Even the God self, when from the God self the souls are coming down, it gets separated. Why did this world happen? If you see, they say God wanted to experience himself or herself or itself. Inert consciousness, nothingness, nothing, no activity. One thought, want to experience myself. And boom, big bang, blast. Lokas created, and all the universes created. Not one, billions of universes. And then that same God self says, if I want to experience this diversity which is there within me, I got to experience it. And the Bhuloka, the earth plane, is that place where this diversity, the only plane where the diversity can completely be experienced. So you have come here, you have taken this body, the five senses, to experience it first hand. To live this first hand. And if you don't do that, you are not fulfilling your life purpose. You will come back here again. I'm telling you, all the people who come to Bhuloka are coming to experience diversity. Be it even that karmic game that they have, karmic lane there and getting stuck in the play, all that fine. But the first need, the expression is, I want to express, I want to experience this diversity. Diversity means everything. Experience everything. And finally, when everything is experienced, they relate to and understand that what is real and what is unreal. And finally they understand that in the unreal there is nothing. It is only back in the source, which is my true Satchidanand blissful form, that is everything. That is the only experience of coming here, learning and going back. That's all the diversity takes place. The earth planes, the Bhulokas. I say the Bhulokas because there is not one earth. There are billions of earth like this Bhulokas. If you don't know that. There is not one galaxy. We just know about the Milky Galaxy and our little universe, which we call Brahmanda. The Brahmanda, dear ones, is not just one universe. This is just one universe in which we live. There are billions of universes. All the billions of universes and galaxies put together is called the Brahmanda. Billions, I'm saying. Billions of universe, billions of galaxies, billions of suns. Every galaxy has got its own sun. Every sun has got its own set of planets. Likewise, there are billions of suns, billions of universe, billions of suns, billions of planets moving around it. And so, there are billions of earths, different dimensions. And every universe has got its own set of laws. What is the law of our universe may necessarily not be the laws of other universes. This has been revealed to me by my dear friends, highly evolved spiritual friends. Not necessarily just the physical friends, subtle friends too. I won't get deep into that because that's a controversial matter. But this has been revealed. These things have been revealed. Why? So there are so many things which we do not know about this universe, and we feel that still we know. We know nothing. There's a speck of being here in this universes, in this cosmos which we cannot even fathom. There are mysteries. I'm telling you, there are mysteries which we cannot even know about. All that we know is just about this one particular universe. Just this. And about our earth, there are many such our earths. And in every earth there is earthlings, there are human beings living. Different experiences, different laws, all abiding with their own laws, because depending on which dimension those earths are, the laws change. There are lower earths, there are higher earths. Higher earths have different laws. Anyways, all that for a different session. But I'm trying to tell you that experience, that godliness which is there, comes to experience itself in all these earths. Bhuloka is one place where diversity is there, duality is there. And all diverse forms can be experienced. So, it is our divine right to experience everything, but also at the same time, our sole purpose, soul agenda is to identify all that is false, link with the real, connect with the real. How do we connect with the real and how do we live real? By being authentic. Authentically living is real living. And one form of this authenticity is being expressive, being the way you are. Whatever you are, being yourself is expression of authenticity. Authenticity is the expression of the real I. Real I is finding who you really are by expressing yourself. By being yourself, you know who you really are and you also know which you are not. So you don't get identified. When you don't get identified with who you are not, you automatically become the real I. And you are grounded in that. And so your physical experiences also relate with that. One is the knowing in awareness that this is the real I, but that should express itself in reality, in grossness also. So that will be seen. How much you are connected to that awareness will be seen in how you live your life. If you are living an unconscious life, your connection is unconscious. It's not very conscious. It's not aware. But if you are living, you are expressing, you are being yourself without formalities, without too much of do's and don'ts, without getting carried away. Of course, we need to be a part of it. That's fine. Like, if I need to be a part of this society, I need to wear clothes. I need to have an Aadhaar card. I need to have a passport. If I go from one country to the other, I do need. I cannot say no. I cannot have a passport because I don't believe in this. No. Whatever it takes for you to live, that we do all that. But in that living, you are free. Like for example, Avadhuts don't have passports. Bhagavan Nityananda did not have passport, but the records are there. He was seen in Ceylon, he was seen in Sri Lanka, he was seen in Malaysia, he was seen in Singapore. All these records are there. How did he travel? These are beings who have defied all those limited ways of traveling. They could teleport very easily. You don't need a passport for that. So those are very high states of consciousness. What I'm trying to tell you is, see, when you keep on defying these earthly and limited laws, and when you cling on to the higher laws, those have their individual powers to make things happen for you, to manifest things in different ways. So being in this world, they were not being in this world. So we cannot be that, but we need to stick with the norms. We need to be in these rules. Whatever we got to follow the rules. Okay, fine. But in that following also, there is something called a freedom in the way you live, the way you express yourself, without hassles, without double thoughts, without double standards, without hypocrisy, by developing courage to live the way you are. And it begins at home. Everything begins with self first. There are simple things which, when we live, we can express ourselves. Like, for example, in my teenage years, I used to comb hair in a different way. All my hair was behind. Those days I had good hair. So it was very stylish and punk cut and all that. So I used to do that. But the elders in my family used to say, no, that's not good. Stylish. What kind of thing? You are a school going child. You should comb it in this manner. I didn't like it because that was my expression. I wanted to live freedom the way I want. And this is not harming anybody. Now it is a belief system that this kind of haircut doesn't look nice in the society. Have a decent haircut, they say. And we believe that. So those were the days, teenage days, I was feeling very authentic. And those were the days I put my foot down and said, I am going to live this way. And it offended a lot of people. Because it's like you become a disobedient child. I chose becoming disobedient. Now I am not encouraging people to do that. But I am telling you, one is becoming a disobedient child out of your ego, which is not what I am professing here. What I am saying is, when you become rooted in yourself, there is something that will make things happen. And it's very spontaneous. It has no friction. It has no fights. It has no quarrel. It has no explanation, no justification, nothing. It will just live itself, irrespective of what people say, nothing. It is not affected. Because you are rooted in that awareness. It began from there, from that hairstyle thing. Then the clothes. You should be wearing this clothes. You should be wearing that. No, I'll wear what I like to wear. Gurudev used to say, Master, when we wear clothes and we are so much doubting ourselves. We don't have confidence in ourselves. We wear a certain kind of clothes and we don't know. Now we want to become a people pleaser. Will this dress suit others? Will this match? Will people say anything? So we go and ask our loved ones, how do I look in this clothes? How do I look? And they say, excellent. Okay, then I'm fine. And if they say, you go and change the clothes. Because you have no confidence in yourself. The self-worth is gone down. The ability to decide for yourself is gone down. Now you want somebody else to decide for you. You become dependent on others' decision to wear something on your body. And why? To please somebody else. Because you don't want to displease somebody. Somebody not liking your dress will disappoint you. So you can see how the catch is, how the dependency, how we live for others. This is what I started the video with. We are basically morning to evening living for others. And it begins from family, society, communities, countries, goes on, and the world. We're living always for others, never live for ourselves. So it begins with small steps. When we take stride in doing what we want, and when we are faced in situations where others want us to do certain things but we feel it is not right to do, then we have the right to put our foot down and say no with confidence. No means no. Maybe that's your way, maybe that's the worldly way. I choose to be different. I'm okay to be different. I'm alright to be different. If I'm different, that's fine. For me, it's fine. For you, if it is not fine, I'm okay with that too. I have nothing to do, because I am not here to please you. I am not here to please anyone. I am here to please my soul. So what is pleasing me? This way, fine. I'll live it this way. Now one example I'll give you. When I'm doing these videos, I suddenly started singing songs. I have done this always. I do all cranky kind of videos. I do all these funny, childish kind of videos. I sing a lot. So people took that little this. And they said, you're a spiritual person and you are doing all this so much responsible work and all that. Does it look good when you sing so much? And singing filmy songs. Not even spiritual. Sing bhajans and all, it's okay. But so those are the conditions that I live in. The world that says, if I'm a spiritual person, I should sing only bhajans. I cannot sing filmy songs. I cannot express whatever is within me. I put a foot down. I said, to hell with what people think. I don't care. If my heart says I feel singing an S.P. Balasubramaniam song or a Kumar Sanu song or a Kishore Das song or a Bappi Lahiri song, whatever, I feel like singing, I express it. I don't think twice. What will people think when I'm posting all these serious spiritual videos and giving lectures on these things and all, and suddenly I'm putting a filmy song, I'm singing, and then I'm singing a duet with a girl there. What is that? आते जाते यही सच है शायद मैंने प्यार किया. देखो इसको प्यार करना पड़ रहा है. Spiritual guy, and he's talking about love and all these petty things. My dear one, spirituality is not so complicated. We have made it complicated. We have imposed rules. We have built another cult, I'm telling, in that spirituality. Spirituality is simple, being what you are. Whatever comes to your heart, you do it. Whatever comes to your mind and heart, you speak it, like what I'm doing right now. Without worrying, should I censor it? Should I edit it? Should somebody say something about it? What will people think? What if I have less followers because I'm singing songs around the tree? I will lose followers. People do that. They're so concerned about this followership business. Oh, you got to take... Because I know when people outsource their work to companies, and the companies take care of their brand building. Now the brand building starts. Two guys had approached me also. They said, your content is good, but you don't know how to present it. You don't know how to make use. You speak for 8 hours, blah, 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 blah. Important contents go in that. You don't know how to make the chunk of it. You don't know how to extract the root, and you don't know how to present it. You don't know how to market it. You don't know how to build up followers. You don't know how to build up subscribers. Let us do that for you. We need a certain commission. Hang on the catch. Okay. So there's a possibility. There's a possibility that I can develop this platform and build up great subscribership and because if I do it the worldly way, it will happen. But I don't want to do it that way. I just want to be me. I'm not bothered about how many follow, how many don't follow, how many unfollow. What for? For many reasons, even I unfollow, people. The Jake Light profile which I have, I regularly remove people from there without thinking what they will think. Because my funda is very simple. We are here to express things. We are here to exchange our lives. We are here to be honest and transparent with ourselves. I am looking for people who are similar, of similar tastes and similar interests. So when I am looking for people with similar interest, why would I want to bother those who are not in that interest, those who do not fulfill, just to build up a great fan following or have more number of subscribers? Why should I be a people pleaser? Why should I please people? Why should I keep them, without, no, you cannot leave me. You got to be my friend. You got to be, because I'm building, I cannot. I've seen so many people crying and fretting and fuming because suddenly they complained. We had so many Instagram followers and suddenly a drop of 500 Instagram followers. What happened? What is Instagram doing? What is this? Havoc. I've seen platforms where they actually buy subscribers. It even happens on this Facebook. They say boost your post, we will help you reach it to so many people. You pay so much and we will reach it to you in so many additional and so many new subscribers, followers will come. It happens. It all happens on all these platforms. Even on Instagram it's there. YouTube it is there. I am not saying it's bad. Who wants to do it, they will do it. Who wants to do that? But who doesn't want, doesn't do that. So what I am trying to say is, you might lose out on a lot of things just because you are authentic. You just want to be yourself. You might do some crazy things which are not normal standards. Like a spiritual person is not supposed to sing around the trees. I will sing as long as my heart feels like singing. If I don't feel like singing, I'll never sing. I've never done it for years together. My bhajans were appreciated so much. There was once upon a time a brand building. I've got so much thousands of followers on that YouTube channel there because of the bhajan singing. Now it has been so many years I've not sung bhajans like what I used to sing before. Now if I had to maintain that kind of subscriber, build up that, I would have used that. It's not needed because I know that is not my area of satisfaction. I'm giving you an example from my life itself. So I can relate and tell that this doesn't work. This really doesn't work. The satisfaction doesn't come in from there. And what doesn't satisfy me, it's like dead work. If I'm doing this for followership, if I'm saying that, I need to make only 10 minutes videos, 15 minute videos, because in the world they say if you do 1 hour video, there is no retentionship. People don't retain, and when you begin your video, you are wasting time. You are posting here and there, you are not looking at them, you're not talking to them. You need to keep the people busy, engaged, otherwise you lose the retention, because the retention capacity of a person looking at a video is only a few seconds, I think 8 seconds or something. If you can't retain them in 8 seconds, they're gone. I care a damn. I still do follow that thing only. Because for me, I have to paste it here, there. I take time. So who wants will stay there. Who doesn't want will go. What is the force there? The idea is not to build up more people and reach it to more people. I don't care that. The idea is that here is a platform where I get to express myself, which might be useful to somebody if somebody takes it good. If not, I'm very happy. All these years I've been doing that. I'm very happy. So these are examples from my life only that I am giving it to you, of being authentic, of being whatever you are, and this gives me great satisfaction. And one thing is, I don't have to live up to something. I don't have to become artificial. I don't have to cut my conscience and do a lot of things. Like post only 1 video or 2 video a week. Don't do everyday videos. Don't post so many posts in a video. And it don't become so available to people. These are the norms of the platforms. You don't become available to people. If you become easily available through emails you are writing, or through chats, or through instant messengers, if you are reading and if you are replying, if you are reacting to everything there and making videos, it's not going to help, because the more you make yourself available to people, the more lightly people will take you, because you are easily there. So you stay away from the crowd. You once a week you do 1 video, very important, and you stay away. Make your absence felt. These are all the gimmicks of this world. I don't understand this nonsense. So I can't relate to it. What I feel, I do it, and maybe it is causing a big price in these things. Maybe I can earn more money by doing all those things, but somehow it won't give me satisfaction at the end of the day. So doing what my heart feels like, I do that. There are no rigid rules. The live I will do in this manner. Live I will. Why don't you change your curtains? Because these curtains are sold every time you're using it for so many months now. The same curtains, Change those curtains, change something. Wear nice clothes, make yourself presentable, change your glasses, and change your setup. Use this lighting, that lighting. Why? Because you're going to give variety to people. Now, am I here to offer all these things? Where is the spiritual? Where is the essence of this? Where is the subject itself? When we are stuck up in all these things. So I'm telling you, this is a real life example that I'm giving you. This is how the world functions, and they think this is where the success is, and maybe they build up success through those things also. But ultimately, if it's not wrong, I mean, if it relates, for me it doesn't relate. But if somebody it relates to, oh fine, you do that and you enjoy that. Enjoy changing curtains, enjoy changing clothes, enjoy having new outlets, enjoy wearing some kind of a new outfit, enjoy cracking a joke, enjoying begin with a powerful punchline, enjoy ending it with a powerful punchline, enjoy keeping the public always. And another thing they told me, interact with people, interact more, ask them messages, post messages. You ask them questions, let them post messages, prompt them to post messages. Because why? The more algorithm of Facebook is that the more messages you post, the more it will be seen on the public record. Do you know that? So if you watch speakers, they engage people to post messages. Here I do when I have to ask some questions or I want to know. Otherwise people keep on asking something like, do you feel okay or no? Tell me, what do you feel? Yes or no? Yes or no? People will type yes, 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 and it starts showing, and it will show on their feed, and from there it will show into the public feed. So the more messages, that's how it functions. I have not experimented, but people have told me this. And then to get more likes, you have to say like, share. There is some standard sentence, you have to do that, or you have to prompt many ways to make people to like your post, because the more you like you do, the more it gets spread. All this is good, very good. And I've seen some authentic spiritual guys also who very authentically say, please help me reach this message to many people, so please share it if it resonates, and please like, so that it help me show this message up to many people. They're very honest when they do that. They're not into gimmicks. I appreciate that. If somebody wants to do it, they do it. So these are the examples of being what you are, and not minding and not being bothersome about what people think. Log kya kahenge? When you are too much rooted in that, you get stuck. You become a people pleaser. You cannot do anything there. So it begins from there. Change all these things and start living. Start expressing what is there inside. Instead of manipulating. If you don't express, I told you, your subconsciously you will start manipulating. You will create all those kind of situations which are not right. And then you will end up having to bear with those. So it's better we start expressing and start being ourselves by being authentic. For that, you first need to know who you are. To know who you are, you got to be rooted in your awareness. Be more aware of yourself. Be aware of the world around you. Try to find what is the true self of you, who the real you are, and what your purpose is. What gives you real joy when you do something, when you say something, when you be something. When you do something in this world, what is that gives you that satisfaction? What is it that when you fulfill, when you do in this world, that gives you a sense of purposefulness, and that gives you an understanding of how to live in this world, how better to live in this world. What if you do for others gives you that. Find out all these things and then start living it. Finding is easy, but living it is difficult. Start expressing slowly, little. Be more expressive, transparent, honest. Instead of taking people around the bush, instead of answering them indirectly, answer them directly, maybe in a polite way. People might not like to hear something, but say directly, I don't prefer it this way. When people say, you got to do it this way, you can say, no, I'm happy in this way. And then be ready to take the outcomes of that. When people start showing tantrums, no, you can't be that way. Be rooted in that without being much reactive. Repeat. When you repeat again and again, then people come to know that no, this guy is not going to listen to our norms. He's going to be what you want. So finally they allow you to be. This is how I have learned all over my lifetime, especially to get out of narcissistic narcissistic behaviors where people control you, dominate you. It can be in the family, it can be in the society, where people want you to live a certain way, function a certain way, be a certain way that they want, that can fulfill their needs. So once you figure this out and you start being yourself, it is a threat to them. They start doing all those things to get you back into the way. So you putting your foot down, that's where the courage comes, and saying no with confidence and being yourself. Repeatedly doing that, repeatedly, finally people give up. And you are left to be yourself. So I think I'm done with today what I had to say, and okay, no questions. Okay, so with this, I hope you had enjoyed this session. I enjoyed being with you guys. Whoever you guys were very sticking here for a long time here, I thank you guys for your time and patience and being here with us, so that we could exchange these ideas and these things come out of me because you are present here. So with this, I take your leave, and as I told you, next week I'm traveling, I'm going to some places. Kanjangad, if anybody wants to be, please, I do not know the dates. The dates that I mentioned, I'm not sure. So next week I'm there. So if anybody wants to be in Kanjangad, 2 to 3 days I'm going to be there. Please send me an instant messenger. You can write from there. I'll try to guide you how we can be there, if you want. Because many times people say, you're not telling us when you're going there, and we would love to be in these places. We do not know. So if somebody can show us or tell us about this place, and if we can be there, part of that. Okay, I said this time I have decided a little early. Usually I just pick my bag and go. But this time I fixed this schedule today morning early 4 a.m. and I spoke with my friend at 4 a.m. and he also agreed, okay fine, come over. So that's how it got ready. So I'm just telling you, in case you're interested, you can send me an instant messenger here on my messenger on JakeLight profile, and I'll revert from there. So with lots of divine love and light to all of you, may we all be blessed, may we all be blessed with this gift of awareness, and help us find who we truly are and be ourselves. Lots of divine love and light. Stay blessed. Gurudev Sharanam. Guru Mandala Sharanam.